exactly 4 p.m. Central European Time, 2 p.m. Standard GMT, and 11 p.m. in Japan. If you guys want to share that, we are now live. So I'm actually going to share this quickly, and we are going to start our conversation. Um, so this is long awaited now interview with Takumi. So let me just share live here. Okay, everything is shared. So it's already like a lot of people, but it also will stay online after we finish conversation. So for everyone who is new here, just let us know if you can hear everyone clear. So I am Marcin. I run this channel. There is of course Takumi, which is our main guest. And no, Takumi doesn't speak English to everyone. If anyone wonder, there is also Taro. Taro is Japanese and bilingual. He will be, I guess, main translator over here. And Taro joined from my community. He watched the live. There is also Janner, who is also community member and who will also help with the translation. So Janner is Turkish, who's been living in Japan for quite long. There is also Masashi, that is partner of Takumi. And Masashi is here to make sure that we don't mistranslate, that we just do it fair. There is also a few other people that you can meet here, which is Iji, Amano, Tamuki, which are other members of the game company. So this is whole set, and I think we are just going to jump right into the question. So first of all, Takumi, how have you slept?
たくみさん、よく寝れましたかまず最初に。
3月11日からはあんまり特に最初の1週間ぐらいは全然寝れずに最近はでもちょっとずつ寝れるようにはなってきました。
Starting from March 11, he said that that's the timing that where he started to lose a lot of sleep. And the first couple of weeks was really, really tough for him. But most recently, he's starting to be able to get some sleep. So it's a yes and no to both sides.
Yeah, wow, that's good. By the way, I need to say once again, hey, people, can you hear us right? Because we are live right now, but I see everyone is quiet. So I'm not. Maybe I will even open the live chat if it's working.
I'm able to hear.
Okay, so well. So I think let's just dive into the questions. And there was some concerns. Is it pre-written questions? Yes, I pre-written the question. We do have there. Let's not pretend that there is some trust issue between the communities. So this is the reason people wanted to see what are the questions, but it's not that we are close for the community questions. So yes, many people say I sound like your aunt. You know, there will be time at the end for community questions, and we will try to answer, do everything that's best. But we will start with the main questions that I saw the community was concerned. Okay, that's not good, but I hope we will go without issues. Takumi, this is to you. Many people were speculating who you are. In fact, I even seen the comment yesterday that this is not real face. That might be AI generated face. Now we know that this is not true. That you are a real person. And I wonder if you could give us a little bit of your backstory. Who are you, Takumi? When do you first discovered crypto? Not even Cosmos. Then when was the first time when you heard of Cosmos Hub? I wonder how you got introduced to the Cosmos, because it wasn't really known in Japan. So all of that backstory, if you could, guys.
匠さんにぜひ自己紹介の方していただければと思いまして、よくいろいろ、オンラインで言われているような形で、もしかしたら匠さんの顔は AI の作られた顔で仮想的なものではないのかって言われているところもあると思うんですけど、少し匠さんのプロファイルのバックグラウンド、どういうところで、どういうきっかけで仮想通貨のこの業界に入ってきたのか、あと、もう少し詳しくは、そのコスモスのこのイコシステムというのは、どういうような形で入ってきたのかっていうところを、ぜひお伝えしていただければと思います。
はい、わかりました。まず、私は浅野匠と言います。現在は24歳で、もともとビジネス自体を始めたのは15歳の頃でした。初めのうちはインターネットっていうもの自体の可能性に惹かれて、インターネットを使った広告なんかをしていたんですが、大体17歳ぐらいの時に初めてビットコインを知ったことで、ビットコインの可能性に気づいてからは、それ以来ずっとブロックチェーンの産業に携わっています。
はい、ちょっと私が通訳した方がいいかな。Martin, do you think that's the way we should do this? Just like give him a couple of phrases and then from my side just move in to make that translation? Or you want him to go through quite a long
We
period?
do bit by bit because if it go too long, it might be
All
too
right.
confusing. So let's do
Cool.
a few sentences
All right,
each, I
works.
think. Yeah.
All right, so as everybody knows, this is Takumi Asano. He's 24 years old as a Japanese national. And his journey into the crypto industry initially started from the young age of roughly 9 years old when he initially started his business within the web advertisement business, which is a big business actually in Japan. And from there, he gradually started to make his business and moved into the crypto space at roughly 17 when he first had a chance to learn about Bitcoin and got involved in the blockchain industry from there.
Have Takumi bought Bitcoin then?
当時の時は、匠さんビットコイン買ったんですか ?17 歳の頃は。
一応買いました。少ないですけど。
He did buy Bitcoin at that time. It wasn't too expensive, but he did buy it at that time.
Sorry to ask, did he sell?
ビットコインはもう売っちゃいましたか
ずっとその後も買ったりとかもして持ってるものもあるんですけど、一番最初に買ったやつの秘密鍵はなくしてしまって、もう取り出すことができない状態になってます。
おいくらぐらいの価格で買ったんですか当時は。
最初はでも覚えてる限りでは大体5万円とか1ビットコインそれぐらいの時に10ビットコインぐらい持ってたんですけど、結構頑張って買って全部取れなくなっちゃいました。
So yeah, he did buy it initially, and he bought roughly about 10 Bitcoin at that time. At that time, the price of one Bitcoin was roughly about $500. He says, but
it's still a lot.
He lost his private key, and so he doesn't have the initial 10 Bitcoins. But obviously, henceforth, he's obviously bought and sold Bitcoin throughout his career.
Okay, let's go. Like what's then from the to the cosmos? What was the next like next part, right?
はい。
はい。でその後中国の上海に行ってマイニングなんかもしていたことがあったんですけど、ブロックチェーンのことを知れば知るほどこれはすごい面白い可能性を持ったものだなということに気づいて、自分でもブロックチェーンプロジェクトをやってみようということで今でも続けているゲームというブロックチェーンプロジェクトをスタートしました。
So once he started learning a little bit about, before we go into just ecosystem, he said that with him learning about Bitcoin, he then went straight to China and started getting involved in the Bitcoin mining part of the business.
So that was the first business, mining, like so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where he initially started to have that business, and upon learning about the Bitcoin business, then he moved across and started to wonder, like, is there something that he can do within the blockchain industry on his own? And so that's where the concept of game came up from him.
So that concept was before discovering Cosmos?
ゲームはそもそもビットコイン、コスモスを知る前からある程度お考えしてたことですよね。
そうですね。最初のうちはブロックチェーン自体を有効的に活用するためにはどうしたらいいかということを考えてたときに、全てがコンピューターの上で完結するものでないといけないっていうことに気づいて、でそこから金融の分野かゲームぐらいしかないだろうなっていうことでゲームに行こうと。最初イーサリアム を使って、イーサリアムの上で今のオープンシーのようなマーケットプレイスを作ろうということを当初の計画では考えていました。
Yeah, so it started from that time that he got involved with Bitcoin, and basically the concept for him was like, what can I do on that blockchain that would be at the level of an everyday use. And then from there, he came up with the conclusion, look, if I can tie finance together with gaming, that would be the most practical use case for the blockchain as a whole. And so he moved from there onto the Ethereum chain. And basically, in the beginning, they were trying to make an NFT, OpenSea type of trading card, NFT market space through the Ethereum blockchain.
I tell you something funny. Sorry, like my friend is keep telling me you should make the NFT with the Juno Whale. And the entry will be you have to be certain number of tokens, so you have to be whale to have this.
ジョークなんですけど、マーチンの友達が言ってるのは、匠さんのジュノウェールとの NFT を作った方がいいということで、ある程度の保有権を持ってれば、その NFT を皆さんがもらえるって言ってるけど、どうですか、匠さん。
クジラ NFT を発行するってことですかね。
そうです。He's like, look, that could be interesting. We can have a whale NFT.
Yeah, we should discuss. But anyway, sorry, I will diverse with that because Jacob asked here like where you at the GMO ASIC launch in 2018. It was he said it was Japanese company that made miners. Have you been at the launch? It's irrelevant.
なんかジェイコブから来てる質問が、GMO の ASIC ランチちょっとどのような内容かちょっとわからないんですけど、
It's the company that make miners. Japanese company that make miners.
マイナーを作ってる、ビットコインのマイナー作ってる会社さんで GMO でいますか？
GMO も今はちょっとやってるかわかんないですけど、確かにマイニングなんかやってたような気がします。
I don't think he was at that. He understands that GMO was making miners at that time, but at the current state, they're not doing that business anymore right now. But so he wasn't there.
I'm asking because
Gotcha. I think they sold their design to Bitmain. Is actually what ended up happening. Their chip design. They were very promising, and I went there in a wheelchair after breaking my leg.
You can translate the tarot like for Takumi, so Takumi knows we're not really getting into. I lost Takumi. Where's Takumi?
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
So sorry guys for that. But now I lost myself. Jacob, I will drop you for a moment. Oh, sorry, in others. Yeah, can you translate, Taro?
当時、おそらくその GMO さんの場合だと、その ASIC を作ってたっていうのをジェイコブが今コメントしてて、そのデザイン自体を、ビットメインさんの方におそらく、売ったのかもしれないって言ってたコメントです。
はい。なんかそういう話は聞いたことあるような気がしますね。なんかビットメインが出してる S9 とかっていうのをそのまんま自分たちで売ってるとかなんとかとかっていう。詳しく知らないんです。
The model Jacob he was saying was that the S9 was a model that the guys at Bitmain ended up buying off GMO is what Takumi is saying as well. But he's not fully aware of too much of how that process worked.
So yeah, like I think we should get back on track, right? On the because we really went away, but it was like quite cool.
So what was NFTs on game, and then NFT を使われ、考えた後からのお話をぜひシェアしていただければ。
そうですね。2010当時僕たちがイーサリアムを使って今のオープンシーのようなマーケットプレイスをイーサリアム上のスマートコントラクトでこう作った時期があったんですけど、その2018、17年末頃から18年頃のイーサリアムっていうのはどういう状況だったかというと、すごい ICO ブームっていうものがあって、イーサリアムの上でいろんな ICO プロジェクトが立ち上がって、でトランザクションがすごい増えていて、で未確認のトランザクションがこう増大する中で、イーサリアム自体のこうスループット、処理が追いついてなくて、で、一つのトランザクションを承認させるために必要なガス、コストがすごいこう高くなってしまって、 で、大体1000円送るのに5000円かかるとか、なんかそういうような時代だったので、まあ、ちょっとイーサリアムこのままだと使い続けるのはちょっとこう難しいんじゃないかということで、自分たちで独自チェーンを作っていこうということをまずは考えました。
So just based on that story of him starting off and considering the Ethereum blockchain as an area that they wanted to develop their game, their game infrastructure. But then at that time, roughly 2017 and 18, Ethereum was growing exponentially, and we're having major throughput issues, which were causing unconfirmed, transactions across the whole chain. And this is where he ended up realizing that, look, we can't really rely on, at that time, the Ethereum chain. We've got to go out and try to develop our own blockchain for this game. And hence, he started to look around the ecosystems to see if there was a suitable blockchain that would be able to fit together with his game blockchain. はい。
ゲームに特化したレイヤー1のチェーンをこう作ろうとしたときに、そのコンセンサスの部分っていうのはどういう仕組みをこう使った方方がいいのかなっていうので、いろんなブロックチェーンを見ていって、まあ、その時チェックしたのは、例えばハイパーレッチャーっていうものだったり、まあ、ポルカドットのその基礎的なこうアイディアの中で出てるそのサブストレートっていうのはどういうような仕組みで動いてるんだろうとか、まあ、そういういろんなチェーンのコンセンサス、例えば当時は EOS とかっていうのもあって、DPoS どうやって動いてるのかなとか、そういうのをこうチェックしていきながら、たどり着いたのが、まあ、コスモスのテンダーミントというコンセンサスエンジンでした。
So in the process of him considering like what kind of layer one they were going to implement, he went up and did a lot of research on multiple different types of L1s at that time through Polkadot. He said EOS at that time and a few other blockchain layer ones to consider for the game infrastructure. Ultimately, that led him to the Cosmos ecosystem.
What was the first time? When did he heard of Cosmos? Was it at the ICO? Was it in Japan or somewhere outside of Japan?
どこでコスモスを最初に聞かれましたか？それは ICO の時なのかと、あとはそれは日本で知ったのか、逆にアメリカでそれを知ったのか、どちらですかね？
一番最初にこう話として聞いた時は、まだそのコスモスのこととかもよくは分かっていなかった時は ICO の前にこれからコスモスの ICO っていうのがあるぞと。で、当時僕の記憶ちょっと曖昧ではありますけど、ビタリックとかもなんかすごい面白そうだっていうことを言っていたりだとか、その業界の関係者の人たちがそのコスモスが出してるクロスチェーンのコンセプトっていうものに対してすごい興味を持っていたっていうのが印象には残ってて、だけどまあその時点ではコスモスのその詳細までは知りませんでした。ただうちの会社のメンバーの中にはこれすごい面白いんじゃないかって言ってその当時 ICO に参加した人もいました。
Initially, how he landed to Cosmos was from the ICO, but also with him, having his network within the Ethereum network as well. He did remember that there were, a few individuals that were saying that, there's an up and coming blockchain that is very, very interesting called Cosmos. And you may want to be taking a look at that. And he was also hearing this from the Japanese developers that he has in his own team as well, saying, look, we've got a very interesting L1 coming up in Cosmos. Maybe we should consider these guys and try to participate in this ICO and find out more about this ecosystem.
Yeah. I think we'll explore this more, in some maybe future interviews. But let's dive into, because people may be getting hit up. CCN. There is a lot of stories about your company, Takumi. When your company come to existence, what was the service you were providing? And if you don't mind, because some people were asking, what's the location of your company? Where is the company?
ちょっとおそらく皆さんもね、バックグラウンドのところっていうところよりはもう少しね、CCN だったりとかの内容というのを聞きたいので、ちょっと飛ばしをさせていただいて、次回別のタイミングでいろいろと過去の話はできればなと思うんですけど、2番、お気になられている部分に関しては、当然 CCN っていう会社さんの、詳細っていうところが海外ではなかなか取れないというところにあたって、少し CCN のビジネスでどういうものなのかだったりとか、どういうようなところに対して、ビジネスモデルとしては成り立っているのかと、あとは本当に会社があるのかという質問も来てます。
はい、ありがとうございます。 まずその CCN っていうビジネスが立ち上がったきっかけっていうのも、まあ、さっき説明したようなこうゲームの流れから実は続くものでもあるんですけど、僕たちが一番最初に CCN のアイディアを思いついたのは2019年の4月の時でした。でその
So,
4月、
どうぞ。
あ
はい。
いいです。
はい
4月の時っていうのはどういう時期だったかというと、コスモスがメインネットをローンチした時期で、で世の中のその特にこうエンジニアの人とかっていうのはコスモスのことをすごい推していたのをこう記憶していて、僕もそのメインネットローンチをすごい楽しみにしていたんですけれど、実際世の多くのこう投資家とか、その一般的なブロックチェーナーの人たちっていうのはそこにあまり気づいていなくて、コスモス自体の時価総額が非常に低いと。まだ500億とか800億ぐらいしかない時期に、コスモスのポテンシャルっていうのはこんなもんじゃないよなということで、もっとこう広めていくにはどうしたらいいかとか、まあ、そういうようなアイディアを思いつきました。
All right. So the idea for the CCN business was born roughly around in April 2019, right prior to the ICO of Cosmos. And at that time, he was very much looking forward to the Cosmos mainnet launch. And he was expecting that within Japan as well, there would be multiple different types of exchanges, large exchanges that would be adopting the Cosmos token, Atom token, on their mainnet launch. But however, the opposite occurred. And no exchanges actually adopted the token in Japan, which led him to think, well, what can we do as a business to be able to go out and spread the word about the Cosmos ecosystems and the Atom tokens as well, and be able to grow out this community? And so that's where the initial idea of CCN came out, roughly about April 2019. どうぞ。
And yeah, so I guess you started doing the Cosmos meetups then, right? Like because there were like no exchanges, like as you said, and like you started doing these meetups. But like how did they look? What was it? What were you presenting to people? Was it just purely investment opportunity? What were you talking
Yeah. 当
about
然、当
Cosmos
時、
Hub?
コスモスのは日本には当然、エクシェンジはアドプションされてなかったというところになっていると思うので、どういうような方法でこういうミートアップをされてだったりとか、顧客をどういうような形で、取得をしに行ったとかっていうところも気になっています。
はい。まあ、さっきのちょっと CCN の話をまた続けてさせてもらおうと思いますけど、まあ、やっぱりそのまだポテンシャル自体がすごいこうコスモスあるのにもかかわらず、全然それが知られていないということと、あとは僕らがそのコスモスの仕組み、テンダーミントであったりコスモス SDK を使ってゲームっていうものをこう開発しているのにもかかわらず、日本でコスモスのその凄さを知っている人がいないんじゃ、自分たちのプロジェクト自体もその凄さみたいなものを知ってもらえないんじゃないかということで、こうまずは広めていきたいというふうにこう考えて、そのアイディアっていうのはスタートしたんですけど、その実際にこう広める過程では、どちらかというと、そのクリプトをもうがっつりやってる人っていうよりは、まだ日本ではそういうこうリテラシーの高い人たちっていうのはあまりこうたくさん多くいるわけでもないので、新しいこう市場を開拓するっていう意味でも、ブロックチェーンに詳しくない人、ブロックチェーンの根本的な思想をこう知らない人でも知ってもらいたいということで、口コミレベルでですね、人が人を紹介して、で、僕の話をこう聞いてくれた人っていうのが、ブロックチェーンのことから、ビットコインのことから、イーサリアムのこと、でまたコスモスのことまで全部網羅して、ちゃんと教えてくれる場所っていうのはなかなかない中で、CCN だったら教えてくれるよというようにこう広まっていって、でそこからこう、ウェブで広まったっていうよりは、どちらかというと、その、対面、アナログで広まったような流れにはなります。
これはあれですか、一般的なインベストなのか、もう本当に一般消費、リテールの人たちなのか、どういうような顧客が主に入ってたんですか、これは。
僕たちのその顧客っていうのは、本当に一般人の人から、もちろん投資家の人もいるんですけど、でもどちらかというと、その大部分は一般の人で。
OK ですよ。ありがとうございます。So, from them obviously going out and, sorry, there's a lot of sentences. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Sorry. Like I'm also looking at the comments and it's confusing environment. And we also like, thank you, Janner, for keeping me in line because we could actually go on for 5 hours. But not that much.
Sorry. So ultimately, for him, with the business model for CCN was more of a word to mouth and trying to get investors to get onto get their education on par and understanding how they can get themselves involved within the cryptocurrency industry. But even more for Takumi was getting them to invest in game ultimately, which was his ultimate goal for him as well. And so it was in Japan, the type of businesses that you go out and try to get new clients can either be through the web or it can be pretty analog. And he ended up choosing the analog way, which is word to mouth, recommendations, friends, in spreading the words and getting, these are general retail individuals on the masses.
First were the friends.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, you said the first were friends?
Yes, friends.
Okay.
Friends and also retail and their friends, which ultimately started to grow and got larger and larger through word to mouth.
Is it why engage friends? Why not just himself? So sorry for dropping this in. Like,
what do you mean by that exactly?
Why engage friends into buying and not just himself? Sorry.
当然、今回口頭でいろいろといろんな方に対して、詳細をコスモスのことをお伝えをするにあたって、当然、自分の、友人だったりとか、今までいた同僚たちともおそらくその中にいろいろと、加えてきたと思うんですけど、なぜわざわざ、友人だったりとか、そういう知り合いまでも巻き込んできたのかっていうのがマーチンさんの、質問です。
なるほど。巻き込んで何かしたっていうよりは、どちらかというと本当に僕たちはコスモスの可能性がすごいあると思っていて、でしかも実際 CCN を始める直前っていうのは、スタートする時っていうのは2020年の5月頃だったんですけど、この時っていうのはビットコイン自体ももう半減期を迎えていて、でビットコインのアノマリーとして半減期後っていうのは仮想通貨全体が盛り上がりやすくなっているというような性質もある中で、コスモス自体は全然知られてなくて、でそれでいてすごいポテンシャルを持っている。でカルダノとか EOS とかっていうのは当時時価総額で、EOS が多分3000億円とかカルダノが5000億円とかある中で、コスモスはまだ500億とか800億。で、コロナショックの後ですごい価格が落ち込んでいて、これちょっと難しいんですけど、FRB とかも市場にどんどんお金をばらまいている中で、このような状況でそのコスモスの価格っていうのがコスモスだけ下がっていくとか上がらないっていうことは、ちょっと全然僕の中では考えられなくて、アトムです。それで言えば、知り合いに紹介したっていうのは、もう本当にいいものだと思ってたから、純粋に紹介。
Mark, to answer that question very, very shortly for him was, look, he saw there's a lot of potential in the upside in what Cosmos and Atom could do. At that time where he was trying to do this, Bitcoin was going through another one of those halvings. And everybody knows that once the halvings occur and then money moves from Bitcoin and moves across into the altcoins, that's when there will be another bull run, obviously, for the altcoins. And for him, he was looking at things like EOS and he was looking at Cardano at that time with them having a large, market caps. And he was saying that, Cosmos is a very, very small market cap at that time. There's no way that only Cosmos will be left behind. Hence, he was telling his friends, but as well as his customers as well, this is a great opportunity for us to be able to leverage that while the bull run will be coming to the altcoins and start investing.
Get that. So, what was the? I was asking, so just don't know if Takumi wants to answer these questions because many people ask about the location. Where's the company?
CCN の、ロケーションもしできればですね、皆さんどこなのかっていうのを聞きたいので、ちょっとそこをちょっとシェアしていただければと思います。
はい。実際その CCN のビジネスを始めようと思った2019年当時に、そういったレギュレーションの部分だったりだとか、法的に問題がないように行っていくためにはどうしたらいいかっていうことを考えまして、いろんな弁護士と相談をしながら、事業自体っていうもののその役割っていうのをいくつかにきちんと分担した上で、既存のその法律に抵触しないようにちゃんと仕組みを作った方がいいというようなアドバイスを受けまして、で僕たちのその本社、メインっていうのはそのエストニアにあって、ただ開発の一部っていうのはベトナムにあったりだとか、もちろん日本にもあるんですけど、中にはその 例えば資料を作ってくれるスタッフとかっていうのは中国にいたりだとか、各国に分散されている中で、一応そのメイン法人っていうのはエストニアにあります。
The main headquarters for CCN is Estonia. And in him developing and establishing CCN, he talked with his lawyers, and they advised him the fact that look, don't. It's good for him to be able to bring multiple and have multiple different types, not headquarters, but locations across the globe in order to be able to maximize his potential. So the headquarters is in Estonia. They have a division in Tokyo. They have the development team out in Vietnam, so half of it split between Vietnam and Japan. And they have a few, he said, I think, operational individuals in China as well, supporting the operations side.
Yeah, I hope we can clear it because people are allowed to have companies anywhere they want, right? So that's and Estonia is good to run companies. It's very crypto friendly, by the way. You can translate so they don't get confused.
マーチンさんも言ってましたけど、当然いろんなロケーションに自分のオフィスを置くということに関しては非常に正しい選択でもありますし、エストニアはそもそも仮想通貨にフレンドリーな国なので、そこに作るっていう理由が分かりますと言われました。
So sorry, like to move because want to go on. So I understand there was friends, but it grow bigger. So then you start advertising, friends start recommending their friends, etc. So as of like at the peak of CCN, who was the average user? Was it young people, older people? Were they crypto native? Were they non-crypto native?
一番その CCN が最初にスタートしてから最終的に終わった時に対してなんですけど、大半の、お客さんの、デモグラフィックスって言い方になってくると思うんですけど、これはもう老人の方だったのか、学生さんだったのか、逆にクリプトを、すごく分かってる人だったのか、全然分かってない人だったのか、最終的な形態としてはどういうパーセンテージデモグラフィックス割ってますかね。
はい、一応僕たちの顧客の大部分っていうのは、まずクリプトのことを、特にその思想とか、その仮想通貨ブロックチェーン全般のバックグラウンドをあんまりよく知らない人たちっていうのがもともとは多かったと。で、特にその高齢者の割合っていうのも既存の他のサービスと比べると非常に高いと思います。ただ、その人たちがじゃあ今仮想通貨のその思想がないかとかっていうことを考えると、実はそうではなくて、僕たちがサービスを進めてきたこの一定期間の間でずっとブロックチェーンの考え方だったりだとか、重要なこととか、そういうものをずっとレクチャーしてきたので、今ではそういった人たちはすごいリテラシーが高くて自分で何でも調べながらできる、英語も使えるっていうわけではないですけど、今では仮想通貨の基本的な知識っていうのはあるんじゃないかなと思います。
Martin, I think that the overall demographics are individuals are a little bit more elderly in the sense that they have a little bit more assets to obviously go out and invest. And these are the retail investors that are available out there. Initially, they started off with lower literacy of blockchain and how to invest in the blockchain industry, obviously from how to create wallets. And a lot of the things are in English as well, which makes that hurdle extremely difficult for Japanese investors as well. So now he says that they are through their education in CCN, that these individuals now have a little bit more of a better literacy of what the blockchain is, what is Ethereum, what is Bitcoin, and what it used to do with wallets. But it's not necessary at a very, very high level. And obviously English for these individuals is also a challenge for these individuals.
Yeah, I think one of the main accusations, like, hey, CCN doesn't exist, is because everyone was wondering where is the customers, right? Like many people wonder why your customers are not on social media. Like I see them now in the comments, but when everything started, there was no one talking on Twitter. And I think that was one of the main reasons why the people thought that maybe CCN is not real. Could you explain that phenomenon?
当時は当然これが問題が起きた時にはそこまでこんなに公開をいろいろとされていたわけでもないと思いますし、当然匠さん側のチームもそこまでTwitter だったりとかソーシャルメディアに対してのプレゼンスを出してなかったっていうところも、今回皆さんが CCN が存在しないのではないかって言ってる理由の背景かもしれないですねっていうのをマーチンさん言ってました。
はい。特にその日本の人たちっていうのは、僕も含めてなんですけど、英語をネイティブというか普段使うことがあまりないので、ツイッターを仮にやってたとしても、基本日本語の発信なんですね。で、海外の人たちっていうのは、英語で多分リサーチして CCN が存在するかっていうのを確認してると思うので、 そういう意味では、英語で積極的に発信している人たちが少ない以上、なんか存在しないと思われても仕方ない
I
かな
think
とは。
that, what Takumi-san's saying is very, very true. Is that, look, a lot of other users, and I think, you guys also know this as well, the Japanese, Japan as a whole, just probably 30% of the population can really, only less than 30% can only really use English at a even at a conversational level. So a lot of their guys that were, their customers as well, were using Twitter with Japanese, right? And writing their comments in Japanese as well. And so from the overseas perspective point of view, you guys obviously wouldn't be using Twitter in Japanese to be able to look at the comments and to be able to understand what CCN is. Those comments and those things exist in Japanese, but they weren't available at English at that time because the users obviously aren't speaking English as well.
So I understand there is you could find whole threads in Japanese, right? Correct?
なんで、日本語であれば CCN だったりが当時にあたっての情報っていうのはある程度、当然 Twitter でもそうですけど、探せるっていうことですよね。
そうですね。積極的に僕らのその顧客っていうのはアナログの人たちがメインなので、ウェブを使って発信を積極的にやってきたっていうわけではないんですけど、でもその存在しないというわけではなくて、実際に僕たちが情報を出してきた中では、毎日毎日いろんな各場所に回りながらミートアップをやってますよっていうことを配信してましたし、実際にそれについてウォルフがいいねしてくれたりとか、ジャックがいいねしてくれたりだとか、その当時の僕たちのその活動っていうもの自体も、ウォルフとかジャックっていうのは知ってたはずだと思います。
This is a really important point, I think, what he was saying as well. I think you know this, right? Martin, yourself and myself, my grandma and your grandma, they used to use clamshells. They used to use those old brick Nokias as well, right? And, in Japan, that was very much the case before smartphones really were, and these guys don't really get on the smartphones as well. So it's not like these individuals are always on the social media. And so, yes, you can find information that's available about CCN in Japanese on Twitter from the past as well. But remember that the investors that they have as well are generally individuals that are a little bit more, to a certain extent, a little bit more analog to a certain point. And so you're not going to find obviously a whole truck full of treasures full of information there, but it is available. And also at that time, he said Jack and Wolf also were liking Takumi's comments at that time on Twitter. And so that they were backing him up at that time, and him obviously going out and spreading the word about the ecosystem.
Understand. So let's jump to the airdrops because that's actually whole the issue. When and how did you inform your clients about the potential airdrops that were happening?
エアドロップのね、詳細の方にちょっとジャンプの方をさせていただけと思うんですけど、顧客様の方に、どのような形で、いつ、このエアドロップがあるっていうことをお伝えをしました。
まず、エアドロップについて顧客とどういう話があったかっていうのを説明する前に CCN の中で顧客と私たちとの間でそのエアドロップについてどのような取り決めがまずあったのかっていうところから説明したいんですけど、実際当初 CCN というサービスを始めた当時っていうのはあまりエアドロップがこんなに今のコスモスエコシステム全体で盛り上がるとは思っていなかったので、エアドロップが例えばそのアトムに対して得られたときにどういう形で分配しますよっていうような具体的な契約というか、合意っていうものを前提として行っていなかったっていうところからスタートしました。ただその中で僕たちが実際に受け取ったタイミングっていうのが、ジュノよりも前にまずオスモがあったんですけど、オスモを受け取った時っていうのは、まだ私たちのサービスの中で出金自体も対応していない時期で、自分たちのメインであるアトムの出金も行われてない中で、オスモについていきなりじゃあ渡しますよっていうのもまたおかしな話で、またユーザー自体も順番に1個ずつ説明していかないと、オスモっていうものがありますって言っても、それ一体何なのかっていうことがよくわからないということで、一旦これは保留にしようという決断をしました。で同様にその後、ジュノのエアドロップ、ステークドロップがあったわけですけど、これもまたこの時、ジュノの時ですら、まだ私たちのサービスの中で顧客の出金がスタートしていたわけではなかったんで、すぐにこれをやらなければならないっていうような意識っていうのはなくて、またオスモもジュノも両方ともそうなんですけど、ホエールキャップっていうものが実際にかかっていたので、オスモに関しては平方根がかけられていて、ルートによって処理されていたので、 だいぶ本来得られる量よりも少なくなっている。また、ジュノに関しては、これもジュノコミュニティの人には勘違いされている人もいるかもしれないんですけど、53個のアドレスに分割していたからといって、1対1で全て受け取れているわけではなくて、ほとんどの、実際僕らが管理していた全てのアトムっていうのは1000万アトムある中で、全て漏れなくジュノを受け取っていたら1000万ジュノあったわけですけど、実際に受け取ったのは200万とか250万とか、これぐらいしかない。
So he just went on for a long time, so I had to cut him off at halfway. ちょっと途中でもう一回匠さんの方にご相談します。Initially, so for the CCN business, when they initially, their business was mainly centralized around the atom or the cosmos ecosystem. That was the main concept that they were going after, right? And investing in atom. So initially, when they drafted their contracts with their clients, they didn't have any clause or any information inside the contract that was stating that, look, if something like an airdrop occurs, because that concept of the airdrop at the time they were not aware of it, and they were, it wasn't available at that time. So they did not have that inside the contract to their customers, right? So what a lot of people, he also wanted to say that, look, it's not just Juno with regarding to the airdrops that they have, they also acquired Osmo airdrops as well, right? And that Osmos airdrop is also airdrops that are for the customers and they're owned by the customers. But they initially, when they initially started this, there was no contract. So their job was not to be able to go out and say, here's an airdrop. They had to reel it back and say, guys, actually, what is an airdrop? Why did you get that airdrop? From that airdrop, what is osmosis? What is this chain? What is it beneficial for you? Why should you keep this? Next, then soon after they got Juno. And then so they have to say, well, look, what is Juno? How does Juno work? Why did you guys get the Juno? How do you store this Juno? That was a track record they have to do in order to be able to educate their clients. And so, for them, it was very important that they took the necessary steps in making sure that they educate their clients correctly. Now, so initially, when they first got the Juno airdrops and the Osmo airdrop, they did not necessarily go out to the clients immediately and say, look, you guys are eligible for this. They were creating a rail for them to educate the customers. And these are, retail elderly individuals who have no idea to even claim their airdrops. So they had to make that process. And once they had that process available, they were going to start initiating that discussion. Takumi-san, どうぞ次。
はい。それでオスモとかジュノっていうのを実際に配布をするっていうよりも前に、まず CCN のサービスっていうものをきちんと完了していかないといけないというふうに僕たちは思ってまして、実際CCN 自体の新規の募集が終了したのは9月なんですけど、その後出勤自体が開始されたのが11月の末からで、12月、1月、2月と続いてきたわけですけど、それが今度終わったら、実はそれでじゃあ CCN は終わりかっていうとそうではなくて、CCN ユーザーには僕たちがこれまで進めてきたゲームっていうトークンの最初のプライベートデリゲーターとしてゲームの分配っていうのも行っていこうと考えていました。で、実はそのゲームのメインネットのローンチっていうのは3月16日に予定していて、これが実は3月、プロップ16が出された3月11日のちょうど5日後、そのプロポーザルが終了する日に、本来は僕たちがメインネットをローンチする予定だったんですけど、ここでメインネットがローンチされたら、今度顧客に対してゲームの配布を行って、で今度はゲームのことを一個一個説明していて、ゲームとはどういうもので、例えばステーキングっていうのはどういう方法で行えて、でオスモシスでのリクイディティっていうのはどういうふうにやっていくんですよ。そういう説明の過程の中で、ちょうどオスモシスが出てくるので、だったら一緒にまずはオスモシスの方から配ることを進めていこうと。
それで出勤っていうそのコンセプトを教えてほしいんですけど、どういう意味ですか？実際にそのお客様が買ったアトムを返すっていうことなんですか？これ。
これは買ったアトムではないんですけど、厳密に言うと、お客さんはそのステーキングサービスに参加してるんですけど、ステーキングサービス自体には期間があって、その期間が2年間というふうにあらかじめ決められていたんですけど、これはその市場の状況も考えて、アトムの価格とかっていうのも考慮して、ユーザーがみんなプラスになるタイミングで終わらせようと思っていたので、ちょうどそのタイミングが9月とかここら辺で終わって、そこからユーザーに対して返していく作業ということですね、僕たち。
So the way that CCN works is very simply put, everybody's saying, Ponzi schemes and everything is what they're saying. But very simply put, the way that Takumi describes it is we are a staking service is the way that he basically describes it. And the clients that they have in CCN, the customers, are paying for that staking service, right? And for them to be able to invest a particular asset and for them to get the staking and get the staking rewards. And so their business model works on the fact that people stake with these together with Takumi-san and get the rewards for these stakings. Is the general concept. And so initially what they were trying to do is the initial mission was, look, we got Atom, we bought Atom, we stake Atom, and September last year, they were going to begin the initial payments of the staking rewards to their customers in September. So they initially started that off. And they initially finished phase 1 of that. But once that in March, they were trying to initiate the second phase of the payouts for the staking rewards. That's when obviously in Juno, they got the Juno Airdrop and the Prop 6 scheme came out for these guys. For the customer in CCN, sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. I'm just trying to recollect as much as possible. For the Japanese customers for CCN, the main intention was, look, number one priority, Atom, get the staking rewards and get and use that service. From there, any participants that got participated with CCN at the time would then be able to be selected as designated delegators for their game blockchain, right? So that was their two main, number one priority, number two priority. But game was supposed to be launched on March 11. That was the official mainnet launch that they were supposed to do it. As everybody knows, on March 16th, with Juno, the prop that came out, that derailed their mainnet launch.
Can I just jump in? I wonder, does the initial investment also that the customers made, were they able to withdraw this investment?
当初お客様が、入金って言い方おかしいんですけど、インベストされたお金っていうのは当然お客様にも返っていくんですよね。
あ、そうです。
Okay.
サービスの終了と同時に、その分すべてのリワードと、あとはそのステーキングに使用していた分っていうのもすべて一気に返す。
So yes, the answer is once they have a lockup period as an organization with CCN. When the customer signs a contract, they do have a lockup period specific to CCN's timing. But once they finish with the timing is finished, I think 2年ですよね、確か。何ヶ月？
最初は2年という契約でスタート。
2 years lock-in period for their clients. Then once that is finished, then they would return the client's investment back together with the rewards that they've gotten as well.
Okay.
さっき太郎さんがその2021年の9月からステーキングリワードが開始されるって話があったと思うんですけど、
はい、
ステーキングリワード自体は基本毎日配布されてたんですね。
で、そうなんですね。
そうです。で、アトムの出金っていうのがその2021年の9月から開始された。
アトムの出金
要はその画面上ではリワードっていうのはずっと溜まっていくんですけど、それも含めた出金をアトムで行うっていう、最後のサービス終了のタイミングっていうのは、僕らが顧客に対して出金っていうものを提供したのは2021年の11月末ではあってるんですけど、リワード自体はステーキングサービスをスタートしたその日から顧客は入っています。
Sorry, there's a bit of confusion here. Maybe because I don't understand as well some parts of the business for CCN, but he's saying that look, the rewards.
Taro, by the way, you are gem because you are like having to go through these two languages. That's difficult job and just.
Thanks, bro.
So thank you.
What Takumi was saying is like he wants to correct something. So the staking rewards that the clients would get. They are paying this daily, and they've always been paying this daily. So their clients are daily receiving the staking rewards, right? They would get the initial investment that they initially gave. That would be locked up in a contract. But on a day-to-day basis, CCN is paying their clients the rewards that they get for staking.
And it was based on the staking rewards of Atom, percentage of this they would claim in the daily staking rewards of Atom and paying out to customers in Japanese currency or whatever.
ペイアウトはアトムだったんですか？日本円になったんですか？これは。
すべてアトムで行われてい
In
ます。
Atom, the payouts were in Atom.
Okay, so the customers had the wallets, or?
お客様がこのアトムウォレットを自分たちで保有していたってことですね。
そうですね。僕たちは一応そのアトムを出金するにあたってコスモステーションの使い方だったりだとか、そういったものを全部事前に共有して、で取引所で出金するとそれがメモを入れなかったらなくなっちゃったりする可能性があるんで、ちゃんとその 顧客のものでやってくださいねという説明は一応全員に対処してるんですけど、ただ中には取引所のアトムのアドレスで受け取っちゃってる人もいるとは思います。
I'm sorry for my technicality because I've never used Cosmos Station, but initially, yeah, it is all towards the customer's addresses. They use Cosmos Station.
Cosmos
I've never
Station,
used,
yes, this is
I've
what
never used it.
I heard Takumi saying Cosmos Station, so I like right away knew what he is gonna say.
It's like a Kepler. It's another wallet. It's
Yes,
just
okay.
another wallet.
So I
And
use Kepler, but
it's also they run big validator on
Yes.
the
so
on the
initially, what he was saying was that look, they train the customers on how to use Cosmos Station, and how to be able to understand the address and receive the address, and then they would be sending the rewards through to their Cosmos Station addresses.
まあ、それなので、もしあれだったら、そのコスモステーションの人たちになんか確認する方法があれば、去年の例えば9月頃から日本人のIP の登録者というかそのアプリダウンロード者がすごい増えてると思うので、それはそういうチェックの方法もできる。
So Takumi was saying that everybody doesn't believe that he has customers or that they exist, and if that's the case, they can actually you're more than welcome to contact Cosmos Station and ask them. Look, last year was there a lot of wallets that were being made out of the Japan IP, right? IP addresses. Because that would be able to validate the fact that there's clients and that they actually get these wallets exist.
Maybe that's why Cosmos Station voted no on Prop 16. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. But by the way, sorry, like to stop.
But
I want
it's
to,
okay.
because Jacob was asking. Janner, something more?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the time is running, and I want to make you guys also check the time, because if it gets too long, people are getting bored, and already they're making a lot of questions and comments on the chat, and we have to be quick. And from now on, I just recommend to make it shortcuts about the questions when you answer the questions. Takumi, please. もうちょっと
Yeah, I
早くやったら方がいいかもしれない、Takumi さん。それでお願いします。
Thank you, Janner, for this. I know it's a lot, but there's a lot of questions. I just want to throw to Jacob, because Jacob was asking additional question why you hid information from smaller investors. Isn't that shady behavior? But Takumi was mentioning that they wanted to educate, but not sure if you want to follow up on more on that.
What does exactly mean by? Sorry, Jacob. What did you exactly mean by that? Because I don't understand the content.
Information about the Juno. This came out in the conversation with Wolf Contract, and actually, just so everybody knows, that's not a question that I added. The community added that after I shared the what was it that I shared? I shared that Rise Up pad with all the questions.
Yeah,
and 4 questions were added to that.
Yeah, so there was just this small question that Takumi hid the information from smaller investors about the airdrop. Is it true? Maybe.
ウルフコントラクト、今ジェイコブさんが聞かれたんですけど、彼らの認識だと、匠さんがちっちゃいインベスターって言い方になってるんですけど、からそのジュノのエロドロップがあるっていうことを隠してたっていうことを言ってるんですけど、それに対して何かコメントでございますか？
全くその隠してるっていうようなことはなくて、その対応自体を保留してどうするかっていうようなことを考えている時期でもあって、もっと言うとその段階的に一個一個やっていかないといけない中で、その小出しに何も決定してない状態で適当なことを言っちゃって、でそれでその顧客自体が混乱することを防ぐっていう方が、僕たちにとってはすごい重要なことでもあったので、一個一個順番にやっていきます。
I think that, Jacob, the way that he was answered as that, look, there was no hiding from his side with regards to the details of the Juno airdrop. But the way that their business also works is the fact that they are doing a lot of education to their community, and they have to make sure that they educate the community with regards to what they receive and how they receive that. And so they wanted to make sure that, just not out of the blue say, oh, you guys got Juno airdrops. They wanted to go out and make a streamlined explanation and education properly to their clients. And so it's not like they said that they put it on hold. That they admit that, look, we did put on hold the information on saying like, guys, we got the airdrops, and the reason behind that was because they wanted to formulate a correct education model that they could go out to their clients and making them understand like, this is what it is, this is how you'll get it, this is the actual token, and this is how you guys can receive the tokens.
Okay.
ですね。これって
But,
繰り返しになるんですけど
if I can offer just one technical suggestion, and please take this as purely a technical suggestion. I know that there was mention of Cosmos Station Wallet, and unfortunately, Cosmos Station Wallet only supports delegating to the Cosmos Station validator. I would just say that in general, I'd recommend, you know, if you were going to prepare educational materials that type, might want to consider actually preparing material for Kepler Wallet, because that allows, well, basically users of Kepler can more fully participate in Cosmos. So that's just a comment there. And concerning, you know, the disclosure of information, frankly, the explanation that you've made, it makes sense. I don't know if information was withheld or not. And in fact, I'm just going to speak to my own personal, like, primary concern. I believe that we will pass the Unity proposal. Okay. And I just want to make something really clear about, like, my personal preferences in all of this. Okay. That's my personal preference that we distribute to the community. Okay. Takumi, as of maybe 2 months ago, even, you know, I had seen photographs of your educational sessions. Okay. I believe those genuinely did happen. I don't have a whole lot of doubt that you ran a number of meetups for the Atom, and that's awesome. And so we're going to take the whole Juno thing, which I'm sure has been stressful for you. Hell, it's been stressful for me, right? And we, you know, try to bring it to a conclusion. My ideal conclusion is that we figure out a way to get the funds to the users. So I'll sort of leave my commentary there. But I did want to say that because I believe Unity will pass, and I believe that right now the most likely outcome is that the funds end up getting burned, and I still prefer the outcome of a distribution.
Thank you. So Tara, could you translate? There was that part about the Kepler, and I know
Yeah,
it's long. It might be difficult, but maybe Jacob can. Yeah.
長かったです。なので100% 正しいから、まさしさんもちょっとサポートお願いします。基本的にジェイコブさんのまず最初のレコメンデーションという部分は、コスモステーションというよりは、ケプラーを使った方がいいというところに関してのレコメンデーションを非常に持っていますと。で、そもそもジュニオというところに対してのプレフェレンスというところが、ダイレクトに、ユーザー様の方にやっぱりディストリビューションを行うっていうところが基本的に彼らの考えであるっていうところだと。で、彼が言ってるのはその Unity っていう部分に対してのプロポーザルがおそらくパスするっていうところで、おそらく結論としては、バンをするっていう可能性っていうのは非常に高いのではないかっていう話をしてるんですけど、それに対して別に彼は、それがいいとは言ってないです。ですが、やっぱり一番いいソリューションっていうのは、もうダイレクトに顧客の方にそのディストリビューションができるのであれば、ここの問題というところは、すぐに解決するのではないかっていうお考えです。大丈夫ですかね、まさしさん。
そうですね。ジェイコブの方も、やっぱりバーンをするというよりは、CCN メンバーの方にしっかりと配布するということを好むということだったので。はい。
I agree with Jacob all the time. I agree about that. Completely I agree.
順番に回答していくと、まずそのケプラを使う方法とコスモステーションを使う方法っていうのがあったんですけど、そのリテラシーの高い人たち、自分でもすでにケプラ使ってる人たちもいるんですけど、私たちの顧客っていうのは全員が全員まずPC を持ってません。コンピューター自体を持ってない人もたくさんいると。でそうなった時に、ケプラがモバイルウォレットを提供するっていうようなリリースは出してたんですけど、実際に私たちが顧客に対してそれを説明するタイミングでは、まだまだそのケプラのモバイル側っていうのは、サービスとして成熟したものではなかったので、コスモステーションの方がもう長くできてたので。
So he absolutely agrees with Jacob with regards to Kepler. And being able to, using that as a more sufficient, let's just say, method of obviously using as a wallet. But he also, Takumi said that, ultimately when they initially started this initiative, most of his clients are individuals that really don't own PCs. A lot of what they do is they do it on their mobile phones. And at that time, the only available mobile solution at that time was Cosmos Station, and Kepler was not available at that time. And so hence the reason why they initially used Cosmos Station. で、どうぞ、ジェイコブさんのそのバーンっていうところに対してのコメントと、コミュニティにダイレクトに返金じゃないですけど、ディストリビューションするっていうところのコメントお願いいたします。
はい。バーンっていうものについては、やっぱりそもそも僕たちはずっと反対をしていて、ブロックチェーンのイミュータビリティの話とかもいろいろあるんですけど、それ以前に、そもそも私たちが一体何をしたのかっていうことで、ステークドロップっていうのは単純に送られてきたものであって、もちろん僕たちは不正にゲームもしてなければ、ステークドロップの当時のルールを破ったわけでもなければ、またもっと言うと、そのジュノーコミュニティに対して害のあるような、もう明らかに価格が地に落ちるようなダンプをしたわけでもないよ。そういうような状況の中で一方的に脅威であるっていうことを囃し立てられて、それがバーンの理由になってる。で、実際プロポーザー16の理由じゃ弱いっていうことになったから、じゃあ次はこの理由だ。これはエクスチェンジだとかいろんな理由をつけて、とにかくバーンをしようっていう雰囲気自体にはすごい反対をしています。で、それも結局エクスチェンジをなぜ省くかっていう最初のステークドロップの時の理念の話で言えば、より分散化させたいっていうことだったと思うんですよね。もしそれが理由なのであれば、顧客に対してちゃんと返すっていうこと自体が成し遂げられるんであれば、それは本来認められるべきだとは思うんですけど、ただユニティにはすごい問題があって、CCN というサービスが私たちがデータベースを管理して行っていたサービスである以上、これから顧客っていうものを特定するためには、私たちがその情報をすべて証拠として出していく必要があると。でこれを出す行為自体そのものには何も問題はないんですけど、ただこれを出したときに、そもそもあなたたちを信用できないっていうような雰囲気を、コアチームというかウォルフが作って僕らを悪者にしてしまった以上、僕らが提出するすべての証拠は、本質的にその信用できないという理由だけで却下されてしまうリスクっていうのがあまりにも高いと思っています。そういう意味でユニティって、
ちょっと待ってください。Okay, so
Taro
regarding
starts sweating.
Oh man, I'm just my brain is about to blow up into 6 billion
And by
pieces.
the way, people, it's midnight in Japan. So
with regarding to the burning, the way Takumi-san believes and the team believes as well as hardcore blockchain developers and enthusiasts, the fact that the blockchain comes from the concept of having immutability, and so conducting a burn, the way they view it is the fact that it's going against that ideology and that core concept of why blockchain even exists in the first place. Now, with regarding to being able to distribute the tokens, they understand that look, the Juno is a community driven blockchain, and that distributing directly to the client to these individuals is the correct way to do it. They as a business also have to go and make sure that the addresses that they currently hold as well, they do the due diligence of the correct person is getting the correct amount of drops that they should be allocated to as well. And so they're wanting to do that process, and it will take time because they know their customers, right? They have the customers' data. But no matter what they propose right now, due to the way that people view CCN and saying that, look, you guys don't have customers, you guys are a Ponzi scheme, you guys are doing illegal criminal acts, no matter what kind of proposals that we bring out, whether it be an auditor or it be sharing these addresses in itself, these are addresses you made. They keep hitting a wall where no one believes it due to the misinformation, as well as due to the, I guess, trust issue. I think, Martin, that you were saying in the very beginning as well, that no matter what you say, if you can't trust us, then whatever proposal we end up bringing, ultimately you can't trust us. This is the dilemma that they're also facing as well, because they want to find that conclusion, but whatever data, whatever proof they bring out, everybody thinks it's fabricated or it doesn't exist.
Sorry,
Unity.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I would like to reply directly to that. I'm responsible for some of that. Okay. And I want to apologize for anything I've said that's inaccurate. Okay. I still don't know what CCN is. Okay. And I would like to, as slowly as possible and mindful of the fact that we have translators and that's a very difficult job, walk through errors on both points or both sides. So on our side, okay, we airdropped those coins to you. All right. And I was involved with the development of Juno pre-launch. Okay. Probably I would say that we can easily classify CCN as some kind of an exchange, staking service, what have you, custodial. Custodial probably being the keyword. Okay. So we should not have. And that basically means we made a bug or a mistake. Echo, yeah, well, everybody should have been. But that certainly includes Wolf, and the phrasing of Proposition 16 was not very good. So, all right. So, yeah, number one, there were definitely mistakes on the side of the Juno team, even before there was a Juno community. Okay.
Can I translate that right now?
And maybe I'll pause for translation of that.
Okay, cool.
Jacob, yeah.
匠さんの方、ジェイコブさんから言われたんですけど、そこの当然コミュニティもそうですけど、先ほど言ったような形で情報っていうところに対してのミスコンセプションだったりとか、間違った情報が流れてるっていう部分に対しての責任も当然私、ジェイコブとしても、そこに関わったところもあるので、そこに関してはしっかりと謝らなきゃいけないところがあると思いますと。で、やっぱり彼らの中でも、ジュノのチームの方でも、コミュニティがそもそもある前から、実際に、匠さんのこの CCN が、ステーキングサービスであろうが、何であろうが、カストリオンっていうような部分に関しては、やっぱりそこは変わりがないっていう見方ではあると思うので、そこを彼らとしては対処をすればよかったっていうところに関しての、やはり、少しのミスの部分があるっていうところは、やっぱり、認めています。で、Go ahead, Jacob.
So that's the piece of it that, on the side of somebody who worked on Juno pre-release, I can say we can even view that as a bug or a flaw, but definitely our fault. Now, on the CCN side, and this is, I'm going to really push on this point because I think that it is the sole way to avoid burning those coins. Takumi, I want to say that I agree with you about having serious misgivings about burning user assets in a blockchain context. Okay. As a validator in general, I would say that it's our job to prevent that. In this case, I have made and even been vocal about the opposite, and I'll walk through why that is. The primary thrust there is that we do have these governance systems, and the governance proposals passed, and overall, I'm still in support of, the spirit of both 4 and 16, but look, Unity is much better. Okay, and Unity provides a pathway to an ideal outcome, which neither 4 nor 16 provided. Okay, both 4 and 16 basically concluded with, we burn them or otherwise dispose of those tokens. And I want to make clear my main reason for supporting that is the large influence on governance. So I would strongly recommend that CCN try to create, and I know that this will take time. I know that this is not an instant thing. And I will not say, push for the passage of Unity and then immediately push to burn. But I would like to see, as a representative the Juno community as a validator, as the founder of Notional DAO, or whatever my role is, right? Because I think all of us are still figuring out precisely what our roles are. What I would like to see from you guys is clear steps toward a distribution plan. I'm not certain that I agree with, Dimi mentioned KYC specifically. I'm in general against that. I would not want the users to be doxxed. However, I do want a rigorous confirmation that, they're people, right? At that point, I would be quite satisfied, and I would like to just let everybody know that one of the capabilities of these DAO contracts that the CCN funds would be entering is mass distribution. I've actually seen it done. So thank you all. I'm sorry that was a rather long comment. Once again, I will summarize with, we must have a very clear and confirmable path to distribution. Otherwise, I do think that the most likely and unfortunately most appropriate outcome will be to burn those coins.
Okay, Jacob, I'm going to have to come back to you probably 1 or 2 more times to reconfirm stuff as well.
Sure. Absolutely.
まず、ジェイコブさんがお伝えを、率直に言うと、今回お話ができてよかったと。で、彼らがやはり最終的に望んでいるところっていうところも、クリアな、もう明確なディストリビューションプランっていうところを、もう本当にもうディテールがすごく多くて、しっかりとこのディストリビューションプランができてるんだねっていうところを作ってほしいっていうのが今さっきのお話の中で一番率直的なコンクルージョンなんですね。で、それをやっぱりやってほしい。で、当然彼もブロックチェーンの部分に対してのイミューティビリティだったりとか、プロップ4とプロップ16という部分に対して、バーンをするっていう部分に関しては、やはり彼の中でも好ましいとは思ってないけど、それに反して自分のオピニオンというところもバーンをするっていうことに対して最終的になってしまったんですけど、言ってるところも正しくて、で、彼の中ではでもユニティプロポーザルが一番新しいんですよっけは、バーンというよりは、ミドルウェイに対してのパスウェイではないかっていう話をしてたんですけど、最終的に、彼らとしてはバーンをしないのであれば、もう本当に明確的に、もう細かくどういうことをするのか、DAO コントラクトっていうところで、今までマスに対してアドレスで配布をするっていうことは可能っていうことはジェイコビを言ってたので、そういうようなメソロジーを使うことを通してやるのであれば、もしかしたら解決策が出てくるのではないかっていうコメントです。
はい、ありがとうございます。一応いくつかやっぱりユニティそのものとそこから先の顧客に対して実際に配布を行っていくっていうその流れ自体に考えていることにちょっとした相違があるなと思ってるんですけど、まずユニティっていうものがどういうものだと、ユニティプロポーザル自体を僕たちがどう考えているかっていうと、これはプロポーザル16と全然変わってないと思ってるんですね。もうまるですごい中間のような雰囲気を出して団結だっていう名前にはなってるものの、結局何をするかっていうと、私たちが今管理しているものをコミュニティプールではなく、スマートコントラクトの中に入れようと。行き先が変わってるだけで、何も別に本質的には変わってない。ただ僕らのものを取るという点においては何も変わってない。で、その後、じゃあ、この一旦行った先のものが私たちが顧客が実在するっていうことを明らかにして、でちゃんとそれを第三者の監査によって確認が取れたんだったら顧客に返せるっていうような、そういうようなことをみんなが考えてるんだったら、僕たちももちろん喜んでロックして、で私たちの情報をなるべく開示していこうと思ってるんですけど、ただコミュニティが求めてることっていうのは 100%私たちのことを信頼しなくても、これは 100% 顧客であることが明らかな証拠を提出してくださいと。
これはジェイコブはですね、コメントをして、ディミさんは KYC を入れた方がいいと言ってたんですけど、ジェイコブはそれはしなくていいって言ってます。で、その理由という部分に対しては、そこが問題点ではないと。 問題点という部分に対しては、もうすでに出さなきゃいけないアドレスの方に出せば、そこにあたっての、細かい、誰であるかで、そもそも KYC を嫌がる方たちも当然あるから、ジェイコブのオピニオンの部分に対しては、そこの KYC は省っていってます。
なるほど。そこもなんですけど、ジェイコブはやっぱりその顧客に返していくっていうことを前提に考えてくれてる人だと思うんですよね。ただ一方でコミュニティ全員がそう思ってるかっていうとそうじゃなくて、どんなことがあったってバーンしてやろうっていう人たちの方が、なぜならバーンした方が自分たちにとって短期的なインセンティブがあると考えてる人が多くいるので、そうである以上は、そのロックっていうのは何も意味がないというか、没収と同じだと思ってるんですね。なんでそのユニティになるんであれば、例えばそのユニティの文言の中に、僕たちがちゃんと顧客がいるっていうことを説明できたときには、顧客に返していく方向で話を進めていこうっていうようなことが書かれていたりとか、目的がちゃんと明確に定まっていれば僕らも同意できるんですけど、コアチームとしては、これはもうバーンでも何でもなくて、ただロックして話はその後決めようということなので、それじゃプロポーザー重要。
Jacob, so the way that Takumi sees it as well, and I think he understands and he appreciates your honesty here. Look, from the way that they see it right now, due to the lack of clear, I guess, details with regards to how Unities and how it would work, the way that CCN views the Unity proposal, he still sees it as it's just a difference between either putting in a smart contract or just burning it. Because ultimately, what Takumi is saying is that there is no insights with regard to, look, if there was more of details as to the path of both the core team as well as CCN would be working together, what would be required in order for them to be able to successfully, I don't say it's cash out, but distribute the tokens. And if those, I would say just rules, maybe is an easier way to say this, these rules were clearly written and both the teams could agree on this, they're okay with going with the Unity prop. But at the current state of it is right now, they're not seeing that. They're just saying that, well, look, this is a prop of not burning, and then we've got a smart contract. That smart contract locks it up, and then we'll have a discussion later with regards to how we can work on later on. And that's where the uncomfortableness comes from the CCM side.
Can I jump in? So is to Takumi. So Takumi, do I understand? Not sure if I understand it correctly. You essentially concerned that if it goes with Unity prop, because of the community kind of sentiment, after the Unity, there will be vote what to do and they will burn the tokens. Is it that's what
マルキーさんが確認をしたいんですけど、ユニティプロップがある、これから出てくる部分に対して、一般のセンティメントがある中の考え方、皆さん今のおそらくある程度のオピニオンを持っていると思うので、ユニティプロップ言ってもこれからどうされるのかっていう大きいハテナがある中で、結局そこで冒頭されて、最終的にこの今の現在の皆さんの気持ちがあるからこそ、結局はバンされちゃうじゃないのっていうのが、匠さんの考え方ですよね、今ね。
そうなんですけど、ただ、コミュニティ側は、そのバーンは良くないと考えている人がたくさんいるので、これはブロックチェーンの観点から、バーンはしないで、私たちが一応そのいろんな努力をしていることを、ただ見ながら、だけどそれはダメ、もっと努力してください。で、また努力した、それもダメ、もっと努力してくださいって言って、ずーっとこの問題が永久的に続いていくこと自体が、すごい、僕たちのリソースっていう観点から見ても損失だし、コミュニティにとってもマイナスであることはもう明らかなので、であればちゃんとバーンをするんだったらどういう理由でバーンをするっていうことを彼らはプロポーザー出せばよくて、それにみんなが反対するんだったらバーンはされないし、顧客に、もしバーンされないんだったらそもそもバーンがない以上は僕らが自分たちのアドレスを自分たちで顧客に返していくことっていうのは本来問題ない。ブロックチェーンではアドレス管理者っていうのは主権が認められているはずなので、顧客に対してちゃんと返していけばいいと思うんですね。この中でもし顧客に行き届いてなかったりだとか、顧客側が全然もらえなかったっていうんであれば、顧客が私たちを訴えるべきことであって、それって全然ブロックチェーン側が僕たちのアドレスに対して干渉してくること自体が、本質的にちょっとずれてるというか、
Okay. Very simply put, the way that Takumi-san sees it is the fact that, look, the community right now is so focused on just burning these assets and moving forward, moving forward with Juno. And he feels that, first, if the burning is going to happen, then it should be with a lot of reasoning and a lot of data and facts behind it, and the reason why that's going to be burned in itself. It should be compelling. It should be information-based and truth-based behind it itself. And if the community
that's why I'm here. Okay, if I were to put a fine point on why am I on this call today, I am on this call because I basically agree with Takumi. Okay, I basically agree that right now things are leaning burn in terms of the community sentiment. I view that as it's like if we were to list the possible outcomes here in terms of desirability. Okay, number one is distribution, number two is burn, and number three is the present state of affairs. Okay, and that's my opinion. I realize that others may have their own opinions, and that's totally fine. So what I'm here to do is try to establish a clear pipeline from unity to distribution.
ジェイコブさんが今回ここの、会議に入っている理由という部分に関しては、しっかりとそこの詳細であったりとか、何をしなきゃいけないかっていうところを、彼らの中で、ごめんなさい、もうどんどん頭をおかしくなります。彼らがしっかりとそれは把握する。で、彼も言ってました。ナンバーワンのプライオリティはディストリビューションだと。で、ナンバー2がもしかしたらバーンだと。ナンバー3が今の現状だというシナリオの中で、1はやっぱりディストリビューションだというところを彼は言ったので、そこをしっかりと彼の中でも、じゃあどうやってそれを実際にやっていくのかっていうところを、やはり、明確にやらなきゃいけないというところを思ってます。Sorry, Jacob, I lost the last part of what you were saying. Can you say that, what you were saying at the very end?
Cool. Yes, I can. So, my goal here today is to put together a clear pipeline from the passage of the Unity proposal to distribution. Okay. And I want to promote that, within your organization as the priority, because if it is, then we get to make history. Okay, we get to do something really incredible. I never want to look back on all of this and, have to think that I did not aim for the best possible outcome. And I do think that the best possible outcome is mass distribution through DAO-DAO.
ジェイコブさんがやっぱりここの、いるにあたっては、やっぱりこのディストリビューションというところに対して、ユニティからディストリビューションというプロップにしっかりと持っていけるかっていう把握もそうですけど、それに持っていきたいっていうところに対して彼らはやっぱり、その方がいいとはやっぱり言ってるんですね。なので、そこに基づいてでも、ここはイニシアティブというところが、CCN 側でしっかりとそのどういうレールを敷くのかっていうところをしっかりと作ってもらうっていうところを分かってほしいっていうところを言ってました。なので、それができれば我々は歴史を塗り替えることができますと。塗り替える大きい歴史を作れますと。なので、そこはすごくいいことだし、やっぱりやりたいことなんだけどっていうことです。
僕ら側から例えばどういう情報を出していくかっていうようなその流れっていうものを例えば提案したとしても、結局それが認められないっていうのが永久的に続いていくっていうことを僕たちは一番懸念していて、それを僕ら実質的なもうバーンだと思ってるんですね。それは僕らがやっぱり何かをするっていうことによってその拒否反応を示している人たちがいるっていうことは、このプロポーザー18、19を見ても明らかだと思うんですね。これも何を出したってもうノーウィズベト、中身は見ないでダメっていう人たちが一定数いる以上は、もっと中立的なモデレーターの人に CCN はこういう存在だから、例えばこういう情報っていうのをちゃんと出すんだったらもう返してあげてもいいよねっていうことをきちんと発信してほしいんですね。例えばそれがコアチームがそう思ってるんだったら、きちんとそれを言った上でユニティをロックしてこういう情報を彼らに求めて、彼らがこれを提出するんだったら、じゃあ直接コミュニティから返していきましょうというようなことを前提にしたユニティであれば、僕らは大歓迎なんですよ。
Jacob, so what he's saying is like, look, he understands and he appreciates you being on this call. He the one thing that I think that I guess is not traumatized, but the one thing that he is going up against is the fact that we are more than happy to develop and go out and make that distribution plan in detail and with regards to how we do it. But from what they have done through the last props as well, whatever they brought up, everything has just been rejected and rejected and rejected. And from what Takumi-san was suggesting is that if there is somebody that can be a third moderator, whether that be Core 1 or somebody that has a little bit more of a neutral stance towards this entire concept, be able to look at what Takumi and his team would propose and be able to say, well, look, this is a plan, would work, this probably would be, and be able to moderate that together with them. That is where they're saying is the ideal scenario for them, where they go out and
I'll gladly discuss anything. So I'm happy to volunteer. And if we wanted to try to find somebody who was less connected, right? Because I'm Core 1, but I did work on Juno pre-launch. Definitely, on the Core 2 team, and Notional Labs, that's kind of like our software engineering division. We work on Juno. That's one of the things that we do. So if you're looking for somebody who's less connected, we may be able to try and help you find them with one warning, which is that the chain already has pretty complex politics. It's a lot of context to put together. And so, like, I could try to help you find that person, but I think it's a pretty small pool of individuals globally who has the necessary context to assist meaningfully. The thing, I don't know, the thing that I'd specifically like to see, and I do believe is possible, provided that there's a high degree of confirmability of information that comes out of CCN, is basically, if you look at the Core 1 DAO contract, you'll see that the Core 1 team, after the chain halted, after that funny contract attack, they paid a number of validator teams and others who helped with that situation. It's basically like a mass payment function that is then approved by the DAO. I'm pretty sure that, that technique is applicable here. We could use it, and that we could, effectively distribute the funds. I also think that it'll be critical to make sure that CCN provides extremely clear information to the community. And I'm happy to act as kind of a filter on that and to, say, okay, this is not, this is potentially not complete enough, right? This might fail because of this. I'll just give an example of the last proposal where, CCN accepted Unity. And so I think that in the end, my vote was no or no with Vino. And the reason is that proposal had not yet passed. Also, the secondary reason is I ask everybody's understanding as we go forward in this. Everybody, including me, is making it up as we go along. There are not yet rules. We are here making the rules right now.
OK。ジェイコブさんが言ったのが、その仲介役が私じゃだったらどうですかっていうお話をしていまして、で、彼はもうそれを手を挙げて自分がそのモデレーターになることは全然問題ないっていうことを言ってるんですね。で、当然もうちょっと、コアワンに近いだったりとかいうような方だったりとか、逆にごめんなさい、逆の方です。第三者でそこまで近くないような方っていうのを探すことはできるかもしれないけど、テクニカリティの部分に対して欠けてしまうところがある可能性があると思うので、そこだったら逆に、ジェイコブが、そこに対して入るところだったりとか、あとは当時あれですけど、ジュノが止まった時に、復活をさせてくれる動きをしたらしいっていう言い方をしてるんですけど、そこに参加してくれた方々もオプションとしてはいいかもしれないねとは言ってました。
はい。
で、ジェイコブと一緒に、こういうニュアンスだったら、ちょっと詳細は少なすぎるから、もうちょっと CCN さん、ここを入れ込まなきゃいけないだったりとか、我々としてはここの部分が入ってないから、ここを入れてほしいっていうところに対しての役割っていうのは、ジェイコブは手を挙げてやってもいいですっていう話をしてます。
はい、ありがとうございます。なんかそれはこうやってもらえるとすごいありがたいんですけれども、そのジェイコブだけじゃなく、ジェイコブがやってくれて、それによってこうさらにこうまとまっていくっていうことは、すごいこう前に進める上では非常にこういいことだとは思うんですけど、まずその前に、プロポーサル16で、コアチーム側が僕らが例えばルールを破った、エンティティというこう表現がもともとあったのにもかかわらず、そのルールを破ってる。彼らはゲームをしてる。こういうこう主張をコアチーム側が持ち続けている限りは、僕らはそのどんなに努力したってコアチームの方が力が強いのは当たり前なので、どうすることもできないと思ってるんですね。であれば先に、まずこれは間違っていたと。こうルールは正しかった。確かにそのステークドロップの時点では何にも僕たちはそれに違反してなかった。だけど、これはやっぱりどういうものかっていうことをちゃんと考えた上で対処するには顧客に返していく方がいいから、そういう方向で進めていこうっていうような何らかの内容というか、そういうような考えをコアチームが持ってるかどうかが重要だなと思ってるんですよね。彼らがバーンしたいと考えていたら、ジェイコブがどんなに頑張っても、結局表面的には、じゃあユニティで頑張っていきましょうとは言ったものの、結局全部リジェクトされたら同じことになっちゃうので。
Jacob, do you have any comments towards the sentiment that the core one members have that are probably against the CCN overall? Because I think that, he's first and foremost, he said you being a mediator or the person that would be helpful for this 100, that would be an absolutely amazing, and it'd be actually a step forward in the right direction for these guys, and they're happy to have that. But I think he's just saying that, with that as well, do you have any opinions with the fact that there's some individuals in the core one or the core members that have a very hard opinion with regarding to how this should be viewed or how this should be resolved, and would they not just reject anything that we end up coming up with?
I happen to know that there is a diversity of opinions in Core 1 that range from we should burn it immediately to actually, frankly, it's only a change in order of the list of priorities that I gave. So, but maybe I should mention also that Juno's done pretty good at not being only Core 1, okay? And that, oh my God! My dog got stuck in I have a puppy, and she got stuck inside a chair. Cookie, you should not go inside the chair. Yeah, wow. And now my wife is trying to rescue the dog, and yeah, okay, all right. Oh my God, there's a plastic folding chair, and yeah. Anyhow, so I would say that there are members of Core 1 whose opinion is that the first option should be burn, the second option should be distribution. That there are also members of Core 1 who would say that the first option should be distribution and the second should be burn. And that if I were CCN and I was trying to optimize for a distribution outcome, I would begin releasing as much information as possible, as often as possible, and possibly use, like, for example, I imagine you have some records of Cosmos Atom addresses that you have sent atoms to. And oh, by the way, I suppose if these didn't exist, then I'd be really worried, and I might go, support burn. But I have looked at there are sends, so that's a plus. And basically, do you guys know that we can smoothly change the address prefix? So we can take an Atom address and make it a Juno address. We don't need the private key. That's just a mathematical function. So, like, the more prepared we are for a distribution scenario, look, think I've said pretty much all along, and I hope that I'm consistently heard on this. You know, burn is, to me, the second option. The reason I don't see it as the first option is simply that we put those into Genesis. Now, and that was a mistake, right? It shouldn't have happened. But guess what? I'd much rather that all these users get like a lucky, happy thing than we just, nuked it, right?
ジェイコブさんが言ってる中で、コアの1が全員が、実際にバンバンバンかっていうような認識ではないと。その中で、コアの中でバン1位、ディストリビューション2位って思ってる人間と、ディストリビューション1位で、その次にバンだと思ってる方もしっかりといますと。で、そこをしっかりとジェイコブという部分が、やっぱりそこに働きかけをしなきゃいけないっていうところを彼は言ってたので、やっぱり彼の中でもそこに基づいて、やっぱり、CCN 側の役割としては、できるだけ透明性というところは彼らとしてはすごく見たい。変な話、アトムの当時のリウォードをアドレスに送られてるっていう話をしてたと思うので、じゃあ、このアドレスをしっかりと公開していくだったり、だからこれが彼らとしての一つの透明性というところを出しながら、そこからもっと情報が出てくるかもしれないですけど、そういうことをすることを通して、ディストリビューションっていうパスっていうのが少しずつ見えてくるのではないかっていうことを言ってるので、単なる匠さんが、いきなり誰かコア出してもコアに NG をされるんであれば、そこはジェイコブと、当然そこのディストリビューション1を考えているコアメンバーさんというところをやっぱりある程度巻き込んでいく必要性はあるよねっていうことを言ってます。
はい、ありがとうございます。一応なんですけど、これ僕たちが懸念しているもう一つとして、そのさっきジェイコブが言ってた、例えばそのアトム、僕らが顧客に返したアトムのアドレスっていうのがあるんだったら、それをジュノに変換して、そこに送ればいいっていうような話あると思うんですけど、このアトムのアドレス、顧客がいることを証明するために、このアトムのアドレスっていうのは、一番最初に僕ら公開したものなんですね。3月11日のプロポーザー16が出ている期間中に、2つ、僕たちの主張っていうような形で、メディアムで提出してるんですけど、この中にも、そのアドレスの、ミントスキャンのデータっていうのを全部出してます。僕たちが顧客に対して出金を行ったっていうことのデータを出してるんですけど、問題は、僕らがこれまで、透明性を提供するっていう意味で顧客の例えば購入データとか、BTC でのその出金が一部あった解約のデータとか、そういうものも、顧客側からの BTC 入金のデータとか、全部もう出してるんですね。ツイッターで。公開したんですよ。だけど、こういうものについて、例えばコアチームが共有をしてほしいっていうことを僕言ったんですね。もっとみんなに広く知ってもらうためには、ちゃんとその共有してもらわないと、私たちがそういう努力をしているということですら伝わらないから、僕らフォロワーが全然いなかったので、ウォルフが何か言うのと、僕らが言うのとではもう全くその力に差があって、まずはそういう努力をしているということをちゃんと伝えてほしいなと思います。
Jacob, so I think you just saw that what EG was sending. EG is one of the developers on Takumi's team in game. And so that was the information that we have in hand. Takumi actually was saying, when this issue was first coming out, they actually published and shared the information with regarding to the addresses for Atom. Martin, yeah?
I will share now the link in the conversation if they don't mind. Okay.
Now I just tweeted that gist link. Okay. And this is a really good first step. Okay. This is a very, very solid first step toward, achieving a distribution outcome. Another thing that I just want to say real quick is that I don't want any payment for any assistance that I provide in putting together this information. It's basically, payment will be more than enough. We just see, Juno succeed and we make history by distributing these funds. And the satisfaction of having done that is far more than enough for me. This is okay. I will speak mildly philosophically for one moment. The narrative that I would like to try and build is that once we can confirm this data, I am strongly pro-distribution. And failing the ability to confirm it, then I'd also become strongly pro-burn. However, it's really important to me personally to work toward the best possible outcome, because look, I think everybody here has been working on or in blockchains for years now, and I don't want the cynicism to take over. Instead, I would like to see, just basically, like, the way that I'm looking at it, we have a software flaw. Okay, we have a software flaw that resulted in the distribution of really quite a bit of value to an exchange. That was never our intention as a team, but it occurred, and might as well get that to the underlying individuals, because the only other option is, to go and to burn the whole thing. And Takumi, I want you to know I share your viewpoint on immutability. Actually, it's been weird for me because I'm a big fan of Cosmos governance, and now we've seen a scenario. I even spoke with Sonny Argawal about this from the Osmosis team, and he never anticipated seeing a scenario where governance would be used to threaten immutability. And what I actually said to him was like, oh, well, I kind of feel like this is governance functioning well, but in order for it to function well, we need to bring this to the best possible conclusion. So I hope that I can kind of set the narrative frame and context there. And
Jacob, the other thing that he was Takumi saying, I think this is Adam Rewards addresses, and he said, look, we actually in the beginning as well, we shared data of addresses of initially for customers who use CCN, they have to buy BTC and send that BTC across to Takumi-san to CCN, right? That addresses as well is something that they initially shared as well, and they'll be able to share to you as well if that's something that's important for you as well.
Can I jump in?
I'm not certain that it is, although maybe it is, because you know what, Takumi, even being able to work with that data in aggregate, what that would do is it would allow us to prove the number of individual inputs. Okay, there's been this big question of like, is CCN an exchange? Now, I'm going to go ahead and say like, yeah, basically. Okay. And should CCN have received Juno in the Juno airdrop? No, probably not. But now we are where we are. Okay. And then so like, if you guys have a look at the Core 1 DAO, right, the most recent thing on it, it paid out to like 15 wallets, different amounts. I would like to see one of those going out to the CCN user community. And that, end of day, yeah, I'd feel all right about that,
And on Kryptonium community as well.
Yes.
ちなみに匠さん、匠さんが今出したのはおそらくジェイクは見たことないと思います。で、それ見た瞬間に、これは正しい一歩を今踏んだねっていう、
はい
言った、認識なので、そこは非常に彼はこれはいいねっていうところを言ってました。で、ビットコインから、匠さんの方に当然入金という部分に対しては、まあ、顧客の数を確定するにあたってはいい数字だよねっていう認識でもあるので、まあ、彼の中でもこれが一つのステップ。まあ、これからいろいろあると思うんですけど、そこはいいのかな。で、まあ、当然、彼の周りの方々といろいろ話したときに対して、まあ、オズモシスのどなたかわからないんですけど、彼もびっくりしたのが、まさかガバナンスを通してバーンをするような、イミュニティビリティをするようなことが起きるとは一切思ってなかったので、非常にここの今起きていることに対しての注目度っていうのが高いっていうことを言ってます。なので、まあ、当然今、匠さんが言ったように、情報が言ってないですね、これは。なので、公開をされたところが出て
はい、マーシンもこの YouTube のところでリンク共有してくれたんですけど、そのギストの中にそういうデータ全部共有してるんですけど、 僕らがその一番懸念してるのは、結局これ共有したところで中のやつを今度チェックして、本当にじゃあどれぐらいあるかっていうのを見て、その中に重複してるものがないかとか、そういうのを誰かが検証するという作業を中立的な人がこうやる必要はあるんですけど、これを例えば僕ら側が用意しろっていうことを今コミュニティが言ってるんですね。中立的な第三者を用意しなさいと。ただ僕らがそれ用意したら、またその賄賂だとか。
Okay. Jacob, so you guys got the list of obviously the addresses in itself, and then from there, obviously the task would be to go into each of these addresses and make sure that there's no duplicates and that it's legitimate in itself. And then obviously somebody has to do that work of fine combing this in itself. Obviously, if CCN brings that in itself, there's an opinion behind that in itself. But do you have an opinion on how that could be done with regarding to somebody who would go fine comb it? Who would that individual be?
Actually, so, okay. When we have a paired Atom and Bitcoin transaction, I mean, to me, the diligence is done. That is, in my opinion, sufficient. I would have to ask others if it's sufficient to them, though. Okay. Where where we're able to map between, BTC and Atom, for example. I think that that is enough. And Marcin, how about I let you take over in just a second here? And okay, so that mapping is decent. It should be a third party. I think we can find a third party. Even informal systems is coming to mind. I know that Bucky is a fan of your work.
Mine or Takumi's?
Of Takumi's. Informal
so
system.
Informal System is the company of Ethan Bookman, who is co-founder of Cosmos. And Ethan Bookman his company offered help to solve the issue. You could translate.
Oh no!
Sorry.
They just came to mind as an organization that may have interest in doing that. It's possible that we could find others as well. What you'd be filtering for is a lack of connection with Juno itself. Obviously, I'm highly connected, and for verifying the data, it probably should be somebody who is not myself. I can look at data sets and say, well, okay, does this or does this not pass my muster? But it's very different if it's coming from a third party. Informal passes that test because then the other filter to choose somebody to execute this task, the other filter is going to be, do they have the technical ability? And so you get down once again to a really small group of people globally.
もう多すぎてちょっと忘れてた。このおそらく匠さんのお仕事を非常にサポートしているコスモスのファウンダーさんの方で、Martin, what was the name of the
Informal Systems is the
Informal
company,
Systems.
and the founder is Ethan Bookman, who is also co-founder of Cosmos.
この方たちが、そういうミディエーターだったりとかっていうところで、変な話、デュプリケーションだったり、アドレスに対して透明性という部分に対しての入ってくることも一つのオプションの考えかもしれないけどねっていうことはジェイコブ言ってましたので、おそらく皆さんもこれ2時間言ってると思うので、ある程度の結論方法っていうところを求められると思うんですけど、この匠さんの場合でこのジェイコブさんだったりとか、このディストリビューションプロップっていうところに対しての詳細を出していくだったりとかっていう部分に対してのお考えっていうところで、解決方法はこういうのはどうかなっていうところがあれば、ちょっとシェアしていただければと思うんですけど。
はい。一応、もちろんそのブッチマンがやってるそのインフォーマルシステムとかがもうそういうような監査をする。それは顧客が実在するかどうかっていうことをチェックして、でそのアドレス自体に重複がないかとかそういうものをチェックして、でそれは僕らがなんか意図的に最近作ったものじゃないかとかっていうようなチェックを、すでに僕らが記録しているようなものを分析してくれるっていうことであれば、もう本当に 大歓迎というか、ぜひやってもらいたいところではあるんですけど、一応彼らは、別の形で、バリデータやってると思うんですよね。まあ、ブッチマンが、所属してる会社で、セファロポットっていう、バリデータが、なんかイカの、画像のやつがあるんですけど、彼らかつて、そのプロポーザー16の時も、これはちょっとこういろんなことをちゃんと考えないといけないねっていうことをこう言っていて、僕もそれを自分のツイッターでも提供してはいるんですけど、今度、その人たちが今度やってくれたときに、それを賄賂だとかって言わないような人をコミュニティ側がちゃんと選定してほしいですね。それでいて、なおかつコミュニティ寄りでもなくて、ちゃんと中立的な人、この人にやってもらったんだったらもう大丈夫だよねっていうものをきちんとこう決めるような働きっていうものをしてもらえるんであれば、僕たちはその人たちに対して可能な限り全ての情報を公開するということはできます。
Martin, I want to make sure that you have control of this, and so I'm not always asking the question back and forth. Just want to make that last comment that Takumi is saying with regards to Jacob and Butchman and the team over there. Takumi-san is saying absolutely that it's an amazing idea. Obviously, with them being on board as well, I'm absolutely go-sign with regards to having them if it's possible. So from them, I think that's something that you, Jacob, and those guys together are able to align. But that's something that from his side he's absolutely happy with. The other question is if they come in and they're validators as well with, they could also get the bat and the stick and saying, well, look, maybe you guys were bribed by CCN or so. So, I think Takumi is saying, well, we got to make sure that also
I'm aware, like, for example, I'm aware that I'm taking that risk. And I obviously, I made very clear I don't want any compensation at all. And, I'd prefer that at this time, certainly, no delegations from CCN be made toward notional, just to maintain some neutrality. So I'm fully aware that risk is there. I imagine that Bucky is as well. I'm sure it was months ago, but I did speak with him briefly about, this matter overall. And I know that he was not in favor of seeing a burn happen. And so the effort needed could be some validation of data, and to describe the parameters and quality of the data. Okay. So like basically, okay, I've not seen that just, I will look at it tomorrow. It's already getting pretty late for me, but, the question just becomes, is this good enough? Right. And then if it is, well, I can say that. I can also pass it to others who, can say that or not. And I guess, yeah, my preference, guys, about how many users total are we talking? I have heard the figure 30,000, but I don't know that's accurate. How many?
Takumi-san, 実際にユーザ
So,
ー大体
sorry, Taro, I'm sorry. Yeah, like I wanted to
Right.
jump to these questions because I
Yeah.
also look at the list of BTC addresses. This is 1,500. But we had different number from Takumi about the number of the users. So can we maybe estimate
BTC
what's
ア
the
ドレス
number
見
of
る
users?
と BTC アドレス見ると大体千何百人ぐらいなんですけど、匠さんが言われたような、数字で、1万から何万人っていうところなんですけど、実際のユーザーっていうところは大体なんですけど、何人ぐらいのユーザーになるんですかね。
はい、ちょっとお待ちください。一応それをまとめてるものがありますので。
He has that available right now and can share that across to you guys as well on the file.
そうですね。
Yeah,
Oh,
you
excellent.
can
Okay.
you can also share the screen.
まとめてるんですけど、スクリーンは特にないんですけど、一応数字で、僕たちのその CCN っていうサービスは、まずその登録者人数で KYC とか一人一人に対して全て取ってるとかそういうわけではないので、アカウントっていう単位になります。中にはユーザーの中で複数のアカウントを持って自分で別々に管理してたりとか、あとはその同じメールアドレスでもメールアドレスも変えてるのかな、そう家族とかで別に分けてる人とかもいるんで、具体的に何人っていうのはちょっと僕らでもわからないんですけど、ただアカウントベースではまず無料で最初登録するっていう、まだ支払いまでしてない人も含めると33,417アカウントあります。で、その後、支払いを行ったユーザーっていうのが26,823 アカウントです。26,802。で、そこから2月18日まで、これ2月18日っていうのが、2021年の2月18日がジュノのスナップショットの日だったんですね。要はここまでのユーザーっていうのが 18,717 アカウント。
So, Jacob, there's a lot of numbers that come around, but I think the most important could be the fact that on snapshot day during Juno, the
8,717 アカウント。
roughly 18K addresses. Now, that's addresses or accounts that they have. Were the ones that were eligible at that time for the airdrop. And so obviously from there, they have clients who obviously have duplicate accounts and stuff like that. But the number generally is 18K is what they say during that snapshot day.
Also,
All right.
another.
So my, Martin, I'll say this real quick because I've actually got to go. But I want to sort of conclude with, and if you go and you look at the Core 1 DAO contract, okay. If you go and see that Core 1 DAO
If you could
contract,
share that.
Sure,
but we are
don't know
non-technical people also. But maybe
yeah,
you can share
it's
for the...
at DAO.org under Core 1. I can tweet the link, but here's the concept, okay? That, but sending to 18,000 addresses. That's far better than the burn alternative. That's just far, far better. It's literally historic. It's very interesting. I'd be enthusiastic about participating in that. I'd much rather they get a happy gift than we just, right? So that's my overall personal opinion. I'm going to stay on for like the next 4 minutes, but I also want to thank everybody here, for participating.
Thank you, Jacob.
あとさっきのなんですけど、一応僕らが共有してるデータのやつ1000何人って言ってたと思うんですけど、そのスプレッドシートの下の方にタブがあって、その期間ごとに分けてるので、全部ちゃんと見ると、ちゃんと数万人いることが分かると思います。
Martin, you got to take a look at that. You said that the BTC address is like 1,200, but there's
I found it. I found it. There is like, so in this file. So I'm sorry for that. I overlooked that. I actually did said that in this sheet there's
already you messaged that also, right?
Yes, I was showing. So like, yeah, that was just my overlook. I looked at the phase one. There's 3 phases and there's 18,000 addresses. And just quick question, Takumi, is you and your team among these addresses as well? Because you also have the stake in CCN. So like,
匠さんのチームもこの中のアドレスに含まれてるんですか？
この中のアドレスの中には含まれてないですね。僕ら支払いしてないので。はい、
No, they're not part of it.
Okay,
ただ
so
53個のアドレスの中には僕たちの持ってるものとか
But inside the 53 addresses that receive the Juno airdrops, yeah, they do have part of their members are in there as well.
that's why I'm saying, because the you would have to disclose all the addresses, so it can be distributed to everyone, right? I guess Jacob, that's okay. I mean, because the Takumi had the stake, and I get Masashi, EG, and others as well, right?
Even yourselves personally or the entity. And by the way, the Estonian entity, does that have a name? CCN?
エストニアの会社って CCN なんですか？なんていう名前なんですか？
名前は DAT ですね。デジタルアセットテクノロジーズという名前。
Digital Asset Technologies.
Digital Asset Technologies. Thank you so much. Okay, so like basically, the stake belonging to yourselves or that entity. The way that I want to see this play out, and I don't know if it'll play out like this. Okay, it may very well go burn, but like my opinion. Okay, we put these coins in Genesis. They clearly should not have been there, but sometimes fortune smiles on 18,000 people. I'd way prefer to take it that way. You say, hey, y'all got lucky here, and we go forward. I also think there's a strong incentive for people to, hold the coins in non-custodial wallets because, they'll be eligible for future airdrops. And once again, thanks to everybody.
Thank you, Jacob. You can
Yeah, thank you.
translate a little bit if there is
あ
anything to
の
translate.
ジェイコブさんはやっぱりこのディストリビューションの今の情報もあったのはすごくいいと思うし、やっぱりこのディストリビューションをするっていうパスっていうのが彼の中で一番望んでいるものではあると思うので、まあおそらくこれは別の回になってくると思うんですけど、そこでのお話をしていくっていうことに対してももう積極的にやりたいなっていうところを言ってますので、ありがとうって言ってます。
はい、ありがとうございます。一応なんか、こういった提出しているものに関して、過去、ジャビーとかがその分析してくれてたりするのもあるんですけど、まあ、そういうようなものを広くなんか全体にきちんとこう届けていくっていうことが、もっともっと必要かなと思ってますので、はい。
So Takumi-san said a really good thing. So in the past, he did provide all these kind of information generally to Jamie. I don't know who this individual is, but he did give it to them. But I think he got a good note. They say, look, this is the information that needs to go out public, and these kinds of information needs to go out to the community for them to be able to understand that there is clarity and there is information behind this that is legit as well. And so Takumi-san also appreciates the fact that he knows that they have to broadcast this and make sure that it's more available for viewing by the general public as well. Martin, to you. I'm just going to hand it across.
Yeah, thank you. There was some questions that already was actually answered. So about the number of clients, so that was included. Also I had the questions because before I thought we would have to teach people how to do it and teach them how to do their use the Kepler, right? So I was thinking if CCN is willing to make videos, but it said that it would be done via DAO app. But could you make maybe video and make sure that everyone has Kepler address and just to everyone would know that they receive the tokens.
マーティンが言ったように、まあ、おそらく今後の流れにはエデュケーションのお客さんに対して順を取りに行くっていうディストリビューションがもう最優先になってくるという部分になってくると思うので、そこの部分のまあ変な話、まあ、ビデオだったりとか、ケプラの使い方だったりとかっていうところを、コミュニティがそういうところも見れると非常に納得していくと思うので、作ってくださいねっていうのはマーティンさんのコメントです。
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, and Martin, he's like, yes, I agree. And those the education materials, they will also be shared with you guys as well, so that you guys can see that we're actually doing this.
Also, there is sorry, it's from the comments because Takumi sold some of the tokens. Is it also verifiable when these transactions went and stuff like this? There was, I don't know, 1 million Juno or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But do you have maybe data on that?
匠さん側のチームの方で、ジュノの、まあ売り、1ミリオンジュノって言ってるんですけど、っていうのが出ているっていう話を言われてるんですけど、それの対しての、まあ、エビデンスだったりとか、何らかのあれって詳細っていうのはあるんですか？
まあ、そのトランザクションの方で確認、基本的にはそのアトムに変えてると思うので、トランザクションの方で確認することはできると思います。
He's saying generally in terms of the withdrawal or just selling, a lot of it is transferring into Atom, and so he would be able to provide that information as well if that's something that the community wants to see as well.
I understand. There is one question from the community that Jacob added that there was a threat. I personally haven't seen it, but why did you threaten the community with to dump Juno? There was the question is exactly formed this way. Why did you threaten the community with making the price 1/5 of what it is now? I think it was when it was at $40. Was there
Okay,
can I just jump in a little bit?
Yeah.
Already I discussed with Takumi on Twitter actually. It was not like that. Actually, there was a discussion, and somebody just told them that you are not part of the community, and he just said that if we are not community, then we can just leave. Is it that simple? He was asking to them, and he said if we leave at the moment as a community, if we are not a community, and if we leave just a moment and we sell, then it's gonna dump the price. But I think I'm not trying to protect him, to be honest, but because after I saw his Twitter, I also sent him message directly, and I told him that this is wrong, and I think it was a mistranslation that he was he didn't want to say so, but it came out like that, the English meaning and the Japanese, because, I somehow speak Japanese also, so I can understand.
Thank you, General.
Yeah, sure.
Anything
So
else, Malcolm?
not sure if Takumi wants to add something on top of that, but that was the answer for the question. I would go with something personal, but maybe community wouldn't like that. So maybe. So this is regarding all of that, Takumi, right? All of this mess that happened, and I think your trust was touched. Like, how do you see future of Juno Network? Do you have plans to participate in Juno still after all of what happened, or all you want to do now is distribute the tokens and you just want to just done with it?
匠さんに質問が最終的にやっぱりこの今後のジュノの部分に対してのご意見というところと、それに基づいてCCN さんたちの、今後っていう部分に対して、ジュノに対しての関わりっていうところを、どう思っているかっていう質問です。
まず、そもそもこれまでジュノに対して僕がどう思っていたかっていうことも話しておきたいなと思うんですけど、僕はジュノが始まるよりも前にウォルフと何度も連絡をしていて、で特にウォルフからいろんな質問がある中で、ジュノもコスモワズムを使ったスマートコントラクトチェーンであるということを理解していて、僕らもゲームの上ではワズムを動かして、でそのワズムの上でゲームに特化したいろんなスマートコントラクトを載せていこうと考えてました。でこういった、コンセプトは近しいにしても、僕たちはゲームに特化したっていう部分で、住み分けができていると思っているので、これらがお互いに発展していくために、コスモスの特徴であるその IBC というものを介して、お互いにつながって、例えばジュノスワップの上でも僕らのゲームが取引できたりだとか、僕らのゲームというところの上でもジュノの上で作られた、例えば何かしらのトークンが、ゲームトークンがやってきて取引できたりとか、お互いに発展していくために協力することっていうのはできると思っています。それをすごい僕たちも楽しみにしていたし、僕たちがメインネットローンチした後はそれを実際やっていきたいと思ってました。まずはじゃ
あ。Really good question. And he said, look, I initially was in discussions with Wolf Contract even before Juno was even developed at that time. And the elements of the smart contract that Juno brings was an element that we wanted to actually tie into our games blockchain and what we were doing as well, and being able to make sure that we would be able to use that as a part of our ecosystem for game, and then obviously have our tokens as well as some of our either NFTs or games be able to be swapped or be used across the entire ecosystem. And so from the very beginning, I have a lot of respect and I have a lot of I guess love for Juno and the capabilities there. He's not done yet. He will keep going. どうぞ。次何かあります？
それでプロポーザル4が出てきて、一度僕らっていうものがその時にも同じような問題で取った方がいいとかっていう話もあったんですけど、その時にジュノが特にウォルフもそうですけど、みんなコミュニティに対して言っていたのは、一つのそのアドレスのトークンを奪ったりだとか、そういうのをガバナンスを通してやっちゃいけない。これはブロックチェーンの思想に反している。ブロックチェーンの思想をもっと大事にしていこうということがすごいディスカッションされていて、私はそれを見て、ジュノっていうのはちゃんとブロックチェーンの質を大事にしている、そういうちゃんとしたチェーンで、しかも分散化もされていて、これはすごい成長していく、コスモスエコシステムの中でのスマートコントラクトプラットフォームとしての地位っていうのは、きちんと確立されていくだろうなということを前提として楽しみに思ってました。ただ、これがそう楽しみだったからこそ、実際にずっとステーキングもしていて、これまでジュノっていうものをきちんと顧客にどうやって返すかっていうのもいきなり何も考えずに顧客にバーンって返しちゃえばみんなが売って価格が落ちるかもしれない。ジュノエコシステムが破壊されてしまうかもしれない。そういうものも頭の中には考えていて、ちゃんとそのジュノを渡すときにはきちんと顧客に対してその可能性を伝えたりする必要もあるだろうなということで一歩ずつ進めていこうと思ってました。ただそのプロポーザー16が出てからのジュノのその雰囲気というか考え方っていうのは、どちらかというと感情的というか、気に入らないやつがいたらもうみんなで団結して潰しちゃえ、 これがジュノのためだっていう、ブロックチェーンっていうよりは、なんかこれまでの、普通の国の政府とか、なんか普通の国で起きてる政治闘争とか、そういうものとすごい似ているなと思っていて、私はこういうチェーンであれば、僕はもっとハードコアなブロックチェーン思想というものを大切に考えているので、そういうものであれば、あまり応援できないというか、推奨はできない。ただ、ジュノがそうではないということを証明する、チャンスでもあるし、この件をきちんと全てが問題なく合意して終わることができれば、僕らも顧客に対してもっとジュノのことを推奨していくことができるし、ゲームがリリースされた。
Long story short for him, look, he's always wanted to be stayed invested in Juno and wants to be part of Juno. When Prop 4 came out and the Prop 4 where Wolf Contract was saying, well, look, this is wrong. We shouldn't be changing the immutability of the chain. He himself is like, that is correct. That is the way that it should be. But that the Juno then and the Juno now is extremely different in the sense that the Juno now is a community that is very much emotionally run. And that is very, very similar to what we're seeing in the everyday world right now, whether it be politics or whether it be war in different countries in itself. And that is not a type of ecosystem that he himself obviously wants to be invested in. Now, obviously, if they are able to work this out together with whether it be Jacob and the rest of the team as well, and they're able to come out with a conclusion of the distribution, then himself obviously there's absolutely no doubt in him the fact that he will continue to stay invested in the Juno in the Juno ecosystem and continue to use it and grow it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to add that, I do think the Juno will outgrow its current state, because at this moment it's still centralized regarding opinions, regarding validators. But I do believe that maybe in 3 years' time, the Juno will have it will be a different state, will have much more validators, and people who will be coming, a new one, will be asking who's Takumi, right? Or they will be asking who's Wolf, because they will not know, because it will not matter. I will hope it will go this direction. Kanner, you were saying you maybe have some questions, right? I would like.
Sure, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's not my question.
Janner, I'm sorry.
It's committee's question. First of all, I want to make something clear that Turkish guys are swearing me. Thank you for swearing. But the thing is, I'm not with the Whale. I don't know him in personal. I live in Japan, in Tokyo. If you want to visit Tokyo, you can come sit down with me. I can buy beer for you, no problem. And the thing is, I'm trying to make some peace between the community. If community burns their token, I don't care. But before burning, there are 18,000 people behind the wallets, not Takumi by himself. And the Takumi's wallet is actually not inside this airdrop. He already has his own custody wallet besides this airdrop. Anyway, so the community was asking Takumi that why Takumi didn't try to distribute the airdrop right after Juno stake drop to his customers just right after he received this stake drop. It's been asking since we started this live stream. So please, Taro, can you ask him? Can you translate?
I think I'm happy to translate. I think that was actually, Martin, as well, addressed in the sense that from their side, the education portion was a very important element for them to be able to go out and communicate that to their respective individuals who would get it, right? Without that, they wouldn't be able to obviously understand what they were claiming. So that's the ideology of CCN in the sense they educate their clients on Atom. They initially educated the clients on Bitcoin and then Ethereum, then Atom, and then so that's basically what it is. I'm more than happy to go and ask him for another the question, but I think Martin, I believe that was answered, or you think that we should go get another answer?
I think Takumi touched upon about the introducing the community to that. So if you guys also missed, this is in the conversation that happened. But we can maybe ask so I think what maybe Janner want to ask, if the Prop 16 would not happen, right? If were you already preparing for distribution
Good question.
before?
もしプロップ16がなかったときに、ジュノのエアドロップが来たときには、匠さんたちのチームの方で、お客様にそのエアドロップの詳細だったりとか、彼らがそれを持つ権利を持っているので、それにあたってのエデュケーションをするっていうお考えと、それをするっていうアクションを取ろうとしてましたか？
まずどういう教育をするかっていうのは、僕らがこのアトムでやってきたこととほど全部しっかりやっていこうっていうようなことは考えてませんでした。これは僕らにとってメインっていうのはアトム、コスモスのことであって、でそしてコスモスとゲームのことが一番顧客にとって重要だから、重要なため一番優先されるべきことはコスモスのことであるし、ゲームのことでもあります。ただやっぱりオスモシスとジュノっていうものに関しては、コスモスエコシステムの中でも特に重要な別のハブだと思うんですね。でこれらを説明するタイミングで、僕らは例えばオスモシスであれば DEX なので、これ取引をするという行為に結びつけて説明する必要があると思っていたので、実際僕らのゲームがスタートしたときに、最初に上場する場所、取引が可能になる場所っていうのはオスモシスになると思うんですね。でだとすれば、そこで僕らのゲームの取引の仕方をオスモシスで、オスモシスを使ってどうやってやるかを説明する過程で、オスモシスのことも説明できるし、実は僕らはオスモというエアドロップも受け取っていたので、皆さんこれも配布しますよ。これはすごいコスモスエコシステムの中で使われていて、使いやすいサービスですよ。非常に可能性があるのでステーキングしましょう。例えばゲームと一緒にリクイディティに供給することもできますよ。そういうような説明ができたと。一方でジュノに関しては、同じようにジュノスワップというものがあって、僕らはジュノスワップを応援する意味でも最初にリクイディティを提供してますけど、そこでも同じようにゲームと例えばジュノの取引ができますよって言って、ゲームの説明をする過程の中で、どうしてもこれらは出てくるポイントがあるので、そういったものと結びつけながら説明した方が、より顧客に対しては理解してもらえるんじゃないかと思ってました。
I think the answer to this is more about how they communicate and how they educate their clients, right? Most, I think, on the foreign aspect point of view, would go out and say, well, look, you've acquired an airdrop. And I think we all, accustomed to this, you got XYZ airdrop, great. I don't know how much that is or what it is. That doesn't work in Japan. And in that case, for Takumi, he had to make sure that he prepared a narrative for this in itself. Initially, Atom and game are the number one priorities for this organization. But in doing so, they acquired Osmosis, and in doing so, they got acquired, Juno. And from them being able to bring up and actually launch game, which still has not been able to be launched, once that is up and launching, then they will be able to say, through this, we would be able to use, we also acquired an Osmosis airdrop, and we also acquired a Juno air swap. You can use these tokens on Osmosis. This is how you use it. You can use it on Juno swap. This is how you would use it, was a priority that they railed out. So whether that would be initially state that was not their strategy. Their strategy was what? We have a roadmap. In that roadmap, we will give the information with regarding to the airdrop once we go down the roadmap that they have right now. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, partly. So it means it was not yet in the brought up clearly. What was there maybe plan to sell it to Atom because there was already such start, or
you mean the airdrops to Atom?
Mm-hmm.
Or
it was planned to distribute Juno or sold to Atom.
匠さんたちはエアドロップのジュノをジュノとして配布するっていう考えだったのか、ジュノからアトムに変えてそこから出すっていうか、どっちだったんですか？
そういうことも含めてなんですけど、全部を決めていなかったっていうのは事実で、保留して後で考えようということだったんで。
Martin, the very simple answer for that, they didn't have that framework yet. So, they didn't have that, or how the procedures that they were going to make wasn't available. And so that's something that they had to create. And so for them, instead of just saying, here's a Juno, they wanted to make sure that they had that module of what they were going to do. And then from there, obviously, go and release the Juno or the Osmosis.
ただ、重要なのはなんですけど、僕らが考えている考えとして、例えばオスモを顧客に返すときに、オスモをダンプしてからアトムにして、例えば返すとか、 ジュノをダンプして返すっていうことは、それらのエコシステムを破壊してしまうことになって、それはコスモスエコシステムにとっても悪いし、もっと言えば僕らのゲームにとっても良くないので、そういうことは考えてませんでした。
It's a very important point. He would never, and they don't, educate their clients in saying whatever airdrop you have. And I think take that and convert it and dump it and convert it into Atom and then take profitably out of that. It doesn't work in the favor for them because that would hurt their initiatives as well as game, as a blockchain for themselves as well in getting people to dump it. Because for them, they need the Cosmos ecosystem to grow and be successful. And this action goes against that. And so they would never go out and promote dumping of any of these airdrops that they've acquired.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I want to tell everyone now, like with how the interview happened. So a week ago, around that, Janner approached me on Twitter, saying he lives in Japan and it's not that simple, and we wanted to talk about the situation of Japan, adaptation of blockchain, the language barrier of Japan, and I did the live stream on this channel with Janner, who said he's small community member. During this chat, Taro was, and we started discussing the situation. And Taro also offered himself, saying he's bilingual. Japanese, many people wonder why he speaks such a perfect English. Taro said he was in international school. And I just want to say that they did great effort. I know the Jadder first spoke to Takumi, and then a few days ago, Taro actually had the call with Takumi at 3 a.m. As of now, it's past 1 a.m. in Japan, and Taro is here translating, and Janner is here, and they do have families, and they did incredible work. So I'm just hosting here. Of course, I was in contact with Takumi. I was messaging Takumi for the past month, but like it would not happen. Just like you saw how difficult for Taro it was. So I don't want anything for that, but I wonder if like there is Game of Notes, or I don't know, Jacob, if you will listen that, or community. I think maybe you guys could send the tip to Taro and Janner for doing this, because that was really a lot. And like Taro, I saw how difficult it was. You were like sweating doing languages, so I like really maybe you guys could tip them for their work,
He
because
did a great job, though. I mean, it's awesome.
Taro, insane, right? Like just
Yeah.
so
Look, I just want to find a path forward, right? I think that's what we all want to do from here as well. Everybody on this call just wants to have a path forward, and so thanks, guys.
Are you, how long you in Juno, Taro? Like
Juno is 2 months and a half.
So similar to Janner, right? You just joined, you new community members. So like I think maybe some.
Mine is a bit maybe.
You said December. You said you
Yes.
joined in December.
Yes.
I think we'll wrap it now. And
yeah, it's better.
I wonder, is there anything more you'd like to tell to the community, Takumi?
たくみさん、ここで、今回のセッションを終了するんですけど、最後に何か一つ言葉をシンプルで短く何かあればと思います。
はい、この問題を本当にお互いにいい形で、ブロックチェーンの思想を犯さず、きちんと大事にした形で解決させて、ジュノも発展していけるようになればいいんじゃないかなと思ってます。なるべく早めに解決できるように僕たちができることはしていこうと思ってますので、これからもよろしくお願いします。
I think he's going to do as much as he can to make sure that the sovereignty of the blockchain obviously stays intact, and that they would be able to make history through what they're doing right now. And so they will also speed up and do as much as they could in terms of providing the clarity and the information that you guys need in terms of speed wise as well. But yeah, they appreciate the time for themselves to be able to get out here and talk. And I think they're more than happy to continue this dialogue in a different time in different places, and if the community needs it. So,
Thank you. Taro, would you like to shout out your Twitter or not?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's shout out the Twitter.
Let me. What is this? At
Taro Kimura. Let me just share that across to you right
so
now.
okay, I will copy in the and also Janner
It's okay. You can.
and yours is.
Just a moment.
I need to find it. Okay, Le Casa Crypto. So the first one is of course Taro, if you want to follow, and this is Janner. Janner said he could be member of Turkish community because he's Turkish, and I think Taro is just the start for your journey in Japanese community. Takumi, what's
Maybe
your
I'm in between. I
Yeah.
live in Japan, so I'm in between.
Takumi, do you watch anime?
たくみさんはアニメ好きなんですね。
What
何が一番好きですか？
what's your favorite?
あります。ワンピース。
ワンピース。ワンピース。
One Piece. Oh, okay. And anything else?
あとは何かあります？
ナルト、ハンター、ハンター、いっぱいありますね。ジャンプの漫画大体見てます。
Everything, Hunter, Jump. The biggest comic magazine in Japan is called Jump. And so anything on that he reads.
Oh, I like Hunter x Hunter. I like it. I'm a huge fan of Hunter. And recently I really like the My Hero Academia was on in the recent years I quite enjoyed. It was in the in the spirit, but I do watch a lot. Movie I watch Paprika. Do you guys seen Paprika? The anime? Very good. Taro, do you watch anime? Masashi?
Yeah, I did.
Janner?
No, it's same thing as
Sometimes.
Takumi-san. It's all everything like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, everything.
Oh, I was obsessed with
Bleach.
Bleach. I was
Yeah.
obsessed. When the Facebook was like a thing, my Facebook profile picture was the blue hair. I forget the guy, the blue hair boy
Yes.
from the Bleach. I was huge fan.
Okay, so besides these type of things, I want to add something more about the community, and communities has a lot of concerns. First of all, Marcin, thank you. Everybody wanted to try to talk with Takumi, and also, anyways, thanks CCN and Takumi that they are here with us today. We both, Marcin and me and Taro, Jacob, we all believe that we have to let them speak out their ideas. We don't have to believe them, but we have to let them speak out, because it's not so simple just but write tweets and fight through the Twitter. It doesn't help to the community. What we try to do here today, give them a chance to speak with us. Anyways, I don't believe, it doesn't matter, and I'm gonna vote by my belief, not the discussion with them. But they have to speak. And what I want from the CCN, that I want them from more honest with the society. Try to talk, not to fight with society. The community comes first. Okay. And community wants to burn, you can change still. I believe you can change. If you behave nice, just behave nice, 優しくしてください。優しくしてください。もういつも我慢してください。もうベテルはもうあんまり良くないです。本当にことだったら。だからもう今はすごい細かいことになったんだから、それもすぐは何かやって終わったらみんなはハッピーになる。So, again, some people want to burn. Okay, it's also possible, but we are in same community. It's small. Juno is still very small community, as you said before. That after a year, maybe nobody will know about Takumi and Jacob. They will never know about us. Maybe if they don't watch these videos, and they don't need to watch these videos after 1-2 years. I really love Juno Network. You know that I'm a fan of Juno Network, right, Marcin? And as a community member of Juno, I wanna see the succeed of this project. Not like Fighting will never help to us. Unity, in somehow we have to be united and keep making new projects to become more stronger and make price up. Price doesn't go up by discussions. Price goes up with the new projects, new products. And when we just discuss, we cannot produce. Let's produce. That's all I want to say. Let's produce.
Agree.
I think with this optimistic accent, we're going to finish this stream. And guys, there is many things you can tip Tara or Janner on Twitter. So
We just need a
hope
massive
maybe-
beer now. That's all.
maybe you will do it. So thank you everyone for participating, and hopefully till the next time we see each other.
ありがとうございます。
皆さん、ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
あー
Thanks, guys.